and mafia-rigged poker games.
My message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this. Your winning streak has ended.
And we have in-depth team coverage with WSB's Bill Caiaccio here at noon.
Current and former NBA players and coaches are facing federal gambling charges.
Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that.
U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nocella, says the scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about NBA athletes and teams. FBI Director Kash Patel says among those arrested are current Miami Heat player Terry Rozier and Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups.
The fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery.
Rozier and former coach and player Damon Jones are accused of using insider information to make wagers on games, while Billups is accused in connection with a poker scheme involving the Italian-American mafia. Rozier was active for the Heat's season-opening game against Orlando last night but did not play. Billups coached the Blazers in their first game of the season. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Bill. A few clouds today. Pleasant, though. Highs around 74, but we are in extreme drought in portions of the metro area.
According to the latest drought monitor, extreme drought conditions are now observed in the South Metro area, including Fayette County, South Fulton County, Eastern Coweta, and portions of Clayton and Spalding counties.
And WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast. Does it include any rain? She'll tell us coming up at 12:05. Metro Atlanta residents have the chance to give their feedback on proposed new express lanes on the eastern side of I-285.
The Georgia DOT is holding a public information open house today from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel on La Vista Road. Officials will discuss the proposed lanes, which would span 13 miles between Henderson Road and Tucker and just south of I-20. These new lanes would come in addition to the existing lanes. There are additional proposals for express lanes on other portions of 285, including on the northern end and west side. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta police make an arrest in a shooting incident that placed a high school on lockdown.
Parents and students attending a homecoming coronation ball at Booker T. Washington High School were startled when police with long guns entered and advised everyone to shelter in classrooms because of a SWAT operation in the area. Police were looking for a suspect who displayed a gun and then fired a shot at officers who had confronted 3 people engaged in suspicious behavior at a gas station on Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard. Police now say that 16-year-old shooter was located in some woods and was taken into custody without incident. He now faces multiple charges. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
New here at noon, a Fairburn babysitter who had a little boy die in her car 3 days before his first birthday appeals her murder conviction at the Georgia Supreme Court.
Maria Owens says a Fulton County judge gave her jury the wrong instructions at her trial for 2011's death of 11-month-old Jalen Kelly. Prosecutors believe financial stress caused Owens to abuse the boy less than an hour after his parents told her they'd be moving him to a licensed daycare. Her lawyer, Kirk Winchester, says the judge took away the jury's ability to decide if the tot's fractured back was received accidentally or on purpose, so they convicted her of murder.
That creates a different punishment than what she has now, which is life in prison.
Owens claimed she only hit the boy to help with his bronchitis cough. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Veronica. The American Heart Association updates the guidelines for CPR. The guidelines now include how to handle choking in adults, children, and babies, and when to treat suspected opioid overdoses. These new guidelines now include back blows when it comes to choking, along with abdomen thrust. The updates also include the first public guidance for when to use a medication used to reverse or reduce opioid overdose. These are the first changes in 5 years. All right, what kind of vehicle do you drive? Is it one of the most stolen models here in Georgia? Well, according to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, the top 3 most stolen vehicles in our state are the 2017 Nissan Altima, the 2020 full-size Chevy pickup truck, and the most stolen vehicle, the 2006 full-size Ford pickup. Overall, car thefts are down, though, across the country. Some sales of previously owned homes picked up in September as declining mortgage rates and more properties became available. The National Association of Realtors saying today that existing home sales rose 1.5% last month from August. The national median sales price climbed 2.1% in September from a year earlier. It's now at just over $415,000. The housing market has been in a slump since 2022 when mortgage rates climbed from historic lows. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 18 at 46,608. NASDAQ also positive territory, up more than 0.5%. The S&P's up almost 0.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams joining us now with a look at the roads.
Hey, Sabrina, we are still honing in on that south side. That's where a lot of our slow traffic is as we head through this lunch hour. 285 eastbound, the outer loop, passing I-75 exit 58 in Clayton County. They got that rolling construction in 2 left lanes, slowing the ride back through those airport tunnels. 75 southbound just has not recovered from earlier trouble before Hudson Bridge Road, exit 224. You're still seeing brake lights as you leave Morrow. 75 northbound, the emergency road repair continues in 2 right lanes heading up into Morrow before Jonesboro Road, exit number 233. And seeing some brake lights through Midtown. 75-85 southbound from 17th Street down past the Varsity. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Your 5-day forecast sponsored by Shoemate, the official plumber of Atlanta.
A beautiful day today with sunny skies and a few clouds dotting the sky. High 74, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, staying mainly dry. Morning low 48, afternoon high 72. Rain showers return on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be cloudy and breezy, staying cool with a high of 65. Heavy rain at times overnight into early Monday morning. The rain will taper off for Monday afternoon, but still cool with a high near 60. As much as 1 to 2 inches of rainfall possible late Sunday into early Monday morning.
We have 65 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome across America. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. There is global outrage, at least in the United States, but we're the only part of the globe that matters, over the east wing of the White House being torn down. They were going to tear down the facade. The White House this morning saying they've decided to tear the whole thing down, which, if you look at the plans, they were going to do anyway to build a ballroom. And the left is in full-throated meltdown. Politico this morning in their playbook says every party in Washington is buzzing about the ballroom. That just means they're going to the lib parties because most people don't care. Most people have lives. Most people aren't paying attention, but progressives are all worked into a lather about it. I got to admit, personally, it's very funny to me to see the level of outrage from the left over this and how ignorant they actually are about things. You know, George W. Bush tore out the Situation Room in which John F. Kennedy handled the Cuban Missile Crisis and Ronald Reagan coordinated the fall of the Soviet Union. George W. Bush even built a baseball field at the White House for Little League. Barack Obama tore up some dining rooms and made them very modern and drab looking. Nancy Reagan poured more red paint over the White House than Stalin's painters did during World War II. FDR actually built the East Wing and an indoor pool for himself. I think Nixon built the outdoor pool. Ike built the putting green. The Roosevelt built the West Wing, and Roosevelt expanded it, and then Truman had the whole White House gutted and rebuilt. You understand that? Truman actually lived in the guest house of the White House for most of his term in office because it turned out to be structurally unsound by the late 1940s, and they gutted the whole thing and rebuilt it. Presidents can do what presidents want to do to the House because it is their house. And while I like the intimate nature of the White House, in fact, King Charles III, when he was Prince Charles, referred to it as the most intimate little palace on planet Earth. It's not a palace, though. It's a house. It's an actual working house. It's a house in which a family lives in it, the first family, and they're there for a limited amount of time. It is not supposed to be a palace. Trump wants it to be ornate. I mean, he has puked gold leaf all over that thing, just so you understand. Because you do need to understand that President Trump's architecture, style of design is essentially the love child of Liberace and Jules Hardouin-Mansart. And if you don't know who Jules Hardouin-Mansart is, he's the architect of Versailles. Have you ever seen Liberace? I showed my son clips of Liberace last night, and he was like, "Dad, is he gay?" I was like, "Yes, sir, he was." I saw a gay rights activist who's a conservative this morning say, you got to understand, Trump is the first gay man we've ever had as president of the United States. He wants everything to be covered in gold leaf. He likes drag queens, and he wants you to be dressed to the nines at all times. Yeah. I mean, that explains Mar-a-Lago. Have y'all been to Mar-a-Lago? It's not just the gold leaf at Mar-a-Lago and the gaudiness of it all. At Mar-a-Lago, every woman comes in and her face is pulled back so much she almost looks Asian. And she can barely see, and her lips have been filled with so much filler, they look like they're about to explode. The only thing bigger than the lips are her chest. And it's just, I don't understand why there literally is a Mar-a-Lago look. And it's like women who have like gone down the road at 3,000 miles an hour and had their skin pulled back as far as it can, their lips filled with injector and their boobs done up as large as possible. It is y'all ladies, you don't have to do the plastic surgery. And I'm sorry, ladies, you think we don't notice that it's fake? We notice. We notice. When we got to wipe the crumb out of the edge of your lip by reaching behind your ear, we kind of notice you've had your face pulled back. And it doesn't look natural. And that is the look at Mar-a-Lago. It doesn't look natural, and it's gaudy. And it's a bit tacky. And that's Donald Trump's style. And you know what? He gets to do it because he's president of the United States, whether you like it or not. It's his house right now. The plurality of Americans voted for him. He won the popular vote. It's his house. He gets to do it. So, I mean, suck it up, Buttercup. Good Lord. It's not the end of the world. And by the way, while I disagree with those who say the White House needs a ballroom, yeah. Charlie just texted me. You can look old or you can look weird. You do not get to look younger. It's true. Y'all need to learn that lesson, ladies. It's like, let's be honest here. My wife fell down the stairs a couple of weeks ago on her way out to church because she decided she wanted to look cute for church, and she wore some shoes with thicker soles than she should have, and it got tangled in the carpet. And she's always miserable because the shoes that she wears make her feet hurt, and she's got to take the time to put on makeup. I don't know a man who cares how much makeup you put on and how much it's for the other women. It is for the other one. Let's just be honest, ladies. You're doing it not for your guy. You're doing it for other women, and you don't need to. And you don't need to go through that level of plastic surgery. And the number of people I know who have had plastic surgery who are convinced that the rest of us don't know they had plastic surgery, and we're just too nice and polite to point out to them that, yes, we know you have. And Botox, too. Good Lord. And that's kind of the thing that Trump likes in that style, with a lot of gold leaf and a lot of marble and a lot of veneer and a lot of polish. And I think this thing is going to be an overbuilt, gaudy monstrosity. But a lot of people, including Democrats, have long said the White House needed a ballroom. They just don't want Trump to be the one to build the ballroom, and they never got around to doing it. You know what what we've done in the past is we use the the state dining room or the east room of the White House, depending on the size. They can hold up to 200, 250 people. If you want to get over 250 people, though, they've had to set up a tent on the White House grounds. Literally, they've set up tents on the White House grounds. And if the weather was bad, it could be miserable outside. If you wanted more than that many people, Trump likes to have big parties. He likes big parties. He wants 1,000 people at the White House, not 250 people at the White House. He wants the ballroom. Yes, will the ballroom be bigger than the actual White House? Yes, it will. It'll be hidden behind trees. I think they should sink it into the ground some so it doesn't overwhelm the place. But here's what's so funny about it. Not that Trump's doing it. The meltdown is kind of funny, but you know and I know that progressives are going to make it a litmus test in 2028. Every Democratic candidate is going to have to support health care for illegal aliens and tearing down the ballroom. Pete Buttigieg is probably going to try a compromise position of, well, let's do a gay marriage in it. But the Democrats are going to want him to tear it down, and they're not going to. They're not going to tear it down because the truth of the matter is most Democrats and Republicans have for a very long time thought the White House needed more space to host more events. Donald Trump wants to leave his permanent mark on the White House, FDR expanded the West Wing and added on to the East Wing. The East Wing had been built by Teddy Roosevelt, who built the West Wing. George W. Bush renovated the Situation Room and built bunkers under the White House. Richard Nixon added the bowling alley. Dwight Eisenhower added the putting green. I think the Nixons added the outdoor swimming pool as well. Somebody added the tennis court. All of these things are there. They weren't there. It's a house that has evolved over time, and the people who live there get to add things. Is this one of the biggest things to be added to the White House? Yes, it is larger than the White House. They say the trees will block it from view. It will not be ostentatious. Let's be honest, it's going to be ostentatious because it's Donald Trump who's building it. But it's, you know what they're saying today, though? They're saying it looks just like the inside of the St. Petersburg Palace. Clearly, the Russians are behind it. I'm not making that up. A prominent Democratic account is saying Trump's doing it to make it look like something from a Russian czar's palace. The Russian czar's palace actually has a different ceiling, and Trump's ballroom looks like pretty much every other ballroom out there. Y'all, you can choose to get mad at everything, but I'm not going to. I think it's going to be gaudy and ostentatious, and I don't really care. Progressives care greatly, though. They don't want Donald Trump to do anything to the White House. I saw someone yesterday claim he was literally tearing down the White House, and it felt like an assault on the body politic. That's what she said. Of course, it was a she. It felt like an assault on the body politic. He was tearing down the White House. No, he's not. No, he's not. I don't like the design, particularly the second floor level on the East Wing gallery. I don't. But he gets to do it. If Barack Obama did it, you people would be totally fine. And you could say, well, if Barack Obama did it, you people would be outraged. And you know what? I guarantee you a lot of Republicans would be absolutely outraged if Barack Obama did it. I would tell you then what I'm telling you now. Yeah, I think it's gaudy and I don't like it, but he gets to do it. He's the president, and the next president can tear it down if he wants. But I think that's what really is outraging the leftists is they know Donald Trump's going to win this one. I actually think that's where all the outrage comes from over this ballroom is they know Trump has won. By building this ballroom at the White House, Donald Trump has won. And they know deep down the next Democratic president, he may turn it into a library. He may turn it into a church of Satan. He may turn it into a community gathering place for transgender weddings. Just to spite Donald Trump, he may do something with it to make it profane in the eyes of Trump supporters, but not going to tear it down. By the way, I do say he intentionally because we know how it's going to go. He's not going to tear it down. He's going to use it. He's going to fundraise in it. He's going to have people there. It will be a lasting legacy to Donald Trump on the grounds of the White House. And every time a Democrat goes into it and smiles, that Democrat's probably going to be attacked by progressives for going into the ballroom, but they're going to go into the ballroom, and they're going to use the ballroom. They're going to fill the ballroom. They're going to modify the ballroom, but they're going to keep the ballroom. And that's what's galling and grating to progressives. I have to tell you as well, there's this trend on the left and the right that you got to get upset about everything. It's like the Charlie Kirk stuff. God rest his soul. At this point, I'm kind of rolling my eyes with the Republicans still trying to get people fired for not liking Charlie Kirk or not genuflecting enough or what have you. Just move on. This cancel culture stuff on the right is as tiring as it is on the left. I'm kind of tired of it. I'm kind of tired of the idea that we have to get outraged about everything all the time. There's got to be outrage. No, there doesn't have to be. On the left right now, it's how they're driving themselves to the midterms, is they're trying to keep themselves inflamed and outraged about absolutely everything that Donald Trump does. And as I have said repeatedly, if every hill is a hill to die on, you're going to die a lot. This isn't a hill to die on. Democrats themselves have said the White House needed more space. They just don't like it that Donald Trump is doing it, which gets to the whole authoritarian thing, too. Democrats say he's an authoritarian, he's a tyrant, he's a dictator. You know, they would be perfectly fine if he were a totalitarian dictator, if he were progressive. If he were a progressive giving progressives what they wanted, they would love him. We know that's true. They're literally running a man in Maine who has a Nazi tattoo on his chest of the Nazi SS brigade that committed and participated in the Holocaust, and they're like, he's our guy, we like him. You know that Graham, what's his name, up in Maine, if you ever watch Schindler's List and look at a Ray Fiennes character who played one of the monsters of the Holocaust, his lapel pin is the same symbol the guy has tattooed on his chest. And the Democrats are like, it's fine with us that he's got a Nazi tattoo. He didn't participate in that group chat. That's why we can't take you seriously over the outrage now, because we know you guys would be totally fine if a Democrat did what Trump is doing. You just don't like it that Trump is doing it, and you really hate the idea that you know deep down the next Democratic president may promise you he'll tear down the ballroom and then get there and say, I kind of like it. And that, my friends, is your ultimate problem, because you, on the left, have decided really to embrace hypocrisy, and you think only the right does it.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1221 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. The rolling road work continues. Southside perimeter, 2 left lanes, 285 eastbound. The outer loop passing I-75, exit 58. Still slow in the ride back toward Riverdale Road. Right lane, 2 right lanes blocked with emergency road repairs in Morrow. 75 northbound before Highway 54, Jonesboro Road. And checking for new trouble, 85 northbound out of Union City before 285. A few brake lights there. Left lane crash on Forsyth, 400 southbound before McFarland Parkway. Eli Manning reminds you there's nothing like football and King's Hawaiian Sliders. King's Hawaiian Sliders make you a winner on game day. Pick them up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your grocery store. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
We only want to be around people who think exactly like us.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
God forbid you actually converse about the world.
Eric Von Hessler.
Smash and conquer, my friend.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now while you still have options.
Just like your car, your septic system needs regular maintenance. Hi, I'm Shannon, the owner of Scorpion Septic. If you're seeing bubbles in your toilet, pooling in your yard, slow draining, or your toilet won't flush, you need Scorpion Septic.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump out charge with your repair. Call for more information. ScorpionSepticServices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com. This is Wes Moss from Money Matters. You know, retirement is a lot like football. The best teams don't just show up on game day. They've got great coaches and a smart game plan. Without one, things go off the rails quickly. At Capital Investment Advisors, we would act as your retirement coach, building both the big picture strategy and the detailed plays that aim to help you score the retirement you want. Don't go into retirement with a bad playbook. Visit us at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
When I was a kid, my dream wasn't a mansion. It wasn't a yacht. It was a 250cc Kawasaki dirt bike sitting in the garage. That garage and that bike represented freedom. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello. At A1 Garage Door Service, we know your garage holds more than tools. It holds dreams. From repairs to upgrades, call A1 Garage Door Service today or schedule online at a1garage.com.
A1 from day one.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You can be live on Eric's show by calling 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425.
Hello there, welcome. It is Eric Erickson across the United States. A small prayer request, please. My wife is having to have a CT scan this afternoon to see if she got a clot in her lungs while she's in the hospital. They don't think that she has, but she's got that factor V Leiden thing, where it's a clotting disorder, and they never had those compression things on her legs while she was in the hospital, so she's just having some trouble catching her breath after being in the hospital, and they think it's just being worn out, but they want to be extra cautious. So prayers appreciated. She's headed in this afternoon to get that. I'll let you know when I know. The phone number here, 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, don't forget to text ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777 to get the show notes. If you got my morning piece, the Cowboys of America are upset with Donald Trump. Actually, it's the ranchers and the cattlemen. They're not happy. And it is hilarious to me to have pointed that out this morning and gotten a bunch of people lecturing me that the Cattlemen's Association is actually a bunch of foreigners, when I actually know ranchers in Oklahoma and Texas who are furious with the president deciding to bring subsidized Argentinian beef into the country, and they don't like the tariffs either. In fact, the Cattlemen's Association is asking the president to get rid of the tariffs and just let them compete and help please with the screwworm problem. We'll get to that. But first, I got to tell you about Swiss America. They're warning you about the secret war on cash. The government's trying to steer everybody to plastic so they can track your purchases. They don't like that you use cash because cash is anonymous. Crypto is anonymous, and they're trying to come after your crypto and your cash. Swiss America is the trusted leader in precious metals in this country. They've been doing this for over 40 years. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, and they would like to help you protect your hard-earned assets and help your retirement and finances. It takes less than 15 minutes to read their report. All you have to do is call or text my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. If you text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646, they're going to send you back a link. The all-out war on cash does include digital forms of currency. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric, SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. Get the report completely free from Swiss America. Text my name or just call them and say Eric Erickson sent me, but just text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. That's 800-289-2646. Or go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric, SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. Message and data rates may apply.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. New information today on that major multi-state NBA sports betting and mafia-rigged poker game crackdown by the FBI. FBI Director Kash Patel earlier.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches.
And we have now learned that 3 Georgians are among those arrested, including Tony Goodman of Locust Grove, the other 2 from Central Georgia. Your weather for today, a few clouds but pleasant. Afternoon highs around 74, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. This just in, a postal facility in South Fulton has been evacuated today after an explosive device was found there this morning. This is at least the 3rd time they say a device like that's been found at the facility on Villanova Drive. The South Fulton Police Department actively investigating now the source and circumstances surrounding this incident. And DeKalb County Police asking for the public's help as they work to identify the driver of a vehicle involved in a serious hit-and-run crash last week. 2 men seriously injured while working to reattach a trailer on I-20 near Wesley Chapel Road on October 14th. A pickup truck traveling in the westbound lanes lost its attached trailer and collided with the victims. Police have released a picture of the trailer that detached, and we've posted it at WSBRadio.com. Anybody with information being asked to contact DeKalb Police. And this is new today. Astronomers at Penn State say that they have discovered a new super-Earth orbiting a star some 20 light years away. The co-author of the discovery says that GJ251c could potentially host extraterrestrial life.
We might be able to detect its atmosphere and the constituents of its atmosphere, and thereby detect what we call a biosignature that would tell us, you know what? There's something happening here that is likely caused by life.
Now, a super-Earth is any planet that is a few times the mass of Earth. It's 12:32.
Your neighbors can't believe how high up you hung your giant spider webs for Halloween. Sadly, those aren't decorations. You've got Joro spiders. Better get Breda. Meteorologist Christina Edwards here for Breda Pest Management. If you've noticed even one of these huge black and yellow spiders on massive webs, yep, that's a Joro spider, and they multiply quickly, laying hundreds of eggs at a time. So if you see one, you better run, because it won't be long before you're overrun with massive webs. Just knocking down their web does not solve your problem. You need Breda to locate and destroy the spidey source. No matter the season, Breda's got your back, protecting the inside and outside of your home. And Breda is proud to still be your friendly neighborhood family-owned company. Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters like spiders.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
A stunning home calls for stunning exterior craftsmanship. That's why you trust the Plus. Painting Plus. They have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus. Trust the Plus family of businesses for everything on your list.
Painting Plus. The Plus means anything and everything exteriors at the highest quality. Your complete exterior solution.
Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
So you're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works, but you want the best. It's Mark Aram here. Modern technology, top-rated physicians. You want something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair's completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results they produce. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, address them all with a simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with experienced pros. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of breakthrough advanced FUE treatments, and get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one else in Atlanta can offer the advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. Fix your hair loss today, starting with your free consultation, and you'll also get $500 off if you move forward. Call 470-660-HAIR. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. And don't forget to ask about that Advanced Hair Guarantee, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Hey, Sabrina, just getting word from our traffic troopers of new trouble in Dunwoody, 285 westbound. The outer loop, Chambly-Dunwoody Road, exit number 29. At least a right lane is blocked. Already seeing those delays start to stack up back toward Dorville. And we've also been watching a crash in Forsyth County. Looks like it might have cleared 400 southbound before McFarland Parkway, exit 12, had been in the left lane, but delays have cleaned up out of coming. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today. High 74, clear and cool tonight. Lows in the mid-40s.
We have 68 degrees here in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello, America. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, if you will remember, you can text the word Eric to 33777, and you can get the show notes, you can get the live stream, you can get the podcast, you can follow me all over social media. I do have one note. I've continued getting some emails from folks giving vehicle recommendations for my son. We pulled the trigger on the Hyundai Santa Fe that he wanted. I got so many people who emailed and said, I've got one. It's really good. So the 2026 model, we got it new because I'm fortunate to be able to do that. My son is actually a little bit concerned that kids, as he doesn't know we got him this car, he's going to come home from school tomorrow, he's going to be there. And I got to really thank the folks at Jim Ellis here in Atlanta. I did everything over the line. I've never done this before. I bought a car at my desk at home. I had the finance guy, Kirby, on the phone with me. And he sent me everything. He sent me a link, and I signed everything, reviewed everything online, and they're sending me. It's the most painless vehicle purchasing process I have ever gone through. And the car will be delivered in the morning while he's at school. We thought about driving to school, but he has made some comments that some of the kids passive-aggressively make comments about his daddy's money. And he actually brought it up to me last week when the subject of the Mustang came up. And I said, well, what you do is you tell them we actually bought you a Mercedes, but we thought that would be pretentious for the school, so we got you the Mustang just to drive to school. He was gonna do that, but we'll see. In any event, thank you all for the recommendations. We have made the decision, pulled the trigger, and thanks, Jim Ellis. It was the most pain-free vehicle buying process. I'm stunned I was able to do it at my desk in my house, and they're going to deliver the car. That was great. Okay, I want to go to Ken's phone call. Ken, welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm good. It's Tim, Eric.
Welcome.
That's okay. Hey, prayers to your wife. I'm glad you guys are very proactive. You have to listen to your body. That's great.
Thank you.
Hey, I've been in Mar-a-Lago several times. I worked for Trump for 10 years. I know it's gaudy. It's very gaudy. But you got to remember, the next president that comes in can tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
That construction. And then not only that, but I saw a picture today of Obama had this big tent constructed for all these dignitaries. Imagine a tent. The most powerful country in the world, and we have these dignitaries in a tent. That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
So
okay,
I think this
so
thing is needed.
you make that point, and your point needs to be, just let me amplify it here, that Democrats themselves, when Obama was president, said the White House needed a ballroom. And in fact, one of the solutions that they floated was the Treasury building is right next to the East Wing of the White House. And one of the things the Democrats floated when Obama was president was taking over a portion of the Treasury building and turning that into White House ballroom and moving the Treasury elsewhere. For the very reason you're talking about, they wanted a ballroom for the president. And he had a giant tent on the White House grounds, and it was, if I recall right, it was muddy. They had to put down some fake flooring so people didn't get stuck in the mud. They had to elevate it because of the rain. And yeah, so that's Democrats back during Obama's tenure. We're talking about needing a ballroom. So there you go. And yeah, Mar-a-Lago is gaudy. It's also, by the way, the building is gorgeous and the grounds are gorgeous. I just, this throwing up gold leaf everywhere sort of stuff, I don't mind gold, but I find it very tacky. And, it's true, though, it is his style. if you stay in a Trump hotel, and one of my favorite hotels on planet Earth is actually the Trump Chicago, and I've told Eric Trump this. If you ever go to Chicago and you get the opportunity, it's kind of pricey. I've been able to get there a couple times and was speaking on different occasions and stayed at the Trump Hotel Chicago. It is hands down the nicest hotel. I love that place. But the Trump Hotel Central Park and the one, I never stayed at the one that's now the Waldorf Astoria on Pennsylvania Avenue in D.C., but gold leaf everywhere. It's very, very gaudy. And if that's your thing, that's your thing. I know some people who like it. But the weird, wild thing is all the people I know who really like that look, the vases and the vases and the gold leaf and the marble and all of that is they also, you can tell, they've been getting work done on themselves too. Gold leaf and face pulls kind of go hand in hand. I think Trump's the only one who doesn't do it in his circle of friends. I don't think he does plastic surgery. I don't think he does. In any event, we got to move on to other stuff because there actually is way more important things to do. We are changing fundamental policy in Ukraine. And that is a really good thing. Fundamental change in policy. The president, have you ever, I mean, you see on speeches, those of you who've met Trump one-on-one, you will know he is one of the funniest people. When you sit down one-on-one with Donald Trump and you have a private conversation with Donald Trump, you spend a lot of time laughing. You know, I've got my criticisms of Trump. I got my criticisms of his character. But every time I've spent time with him, I enjoy the time with him because he's a very funny person. And when he is off the camera and he's not performing to the crowd, he doesn't take himself very seriously. He's very, very funny and lighthearted. And you are the center of his attention, and he can make all sorts of jokes. And he's made jokes at my expense before that I have found very funny, and jokes at his expense, and he laughs. He has a very, very funny sense of humor and a great comedic timing. And I say all this to say his comedic timing was on display yesterday on social media because the United States, under Donald Trump, has fundamentally changed policy with Ukraine. We are allowing Ukraine now to use the long-range missiles we have given them and to allow them to target the Russians. Now, Mark Rutte, who is the Secretary General of NATO, was at the White House today, and he was defending continuing the fight against the Russians in Ukraine. And this is some of what he had to say.
Collapse in Ukrainian support for the war. A Gallup poll had it just 23%. That's less than a quarter. Zelensky came out today praising President Trump's proposal for freezing the front lines of battle as part of a ceasefire. He said that's a good compromise. So people view your coming here as, you're lobbying the U.S. government to continue its involvement in the war. You're obviously lobbying for more NATO weapons to be sent to Ukraine, but Ukrainians themselves don't want to fight the war. So how do you justify that morally?
Well, I'm lobbying only for one thing, and that is to make sure that we end this war. And I don't have to lobby the president because we totally agree on this. And this is what he has been doing from day one. Everything he could do to break the deadlock with Putin, get a dialogue going, dialoguing also with Zelensky, and getting this war done. It's crucial. The fact that the US is now supplying weapons into Ukraine, paid for by allies, is extremely important. And that's now happening since 2-3 months. About $2 billion moving into Ukraine.
The war hasn't wind down. Why do you think that'll wind it down now?
What do you mean?
You think more weapons will wind down the war?
No, I mean, there's more to be done. So what you need, what the president said this weekend, stop where you are, so basically do a ceasefire and then have all your discussions about territory and whatever. But first, stop the war. This is what you said on Friday and on Sunday.
It's a war. I mean, your question is really a fair one. It's a war that should have never started. And you know how I feel about it. But it's a war that should have never started. And we're not selling any weapons to Ukraine. We're selling them to NATO.
Yeah.
Which is different from before. With Biden, he just gave $350 billion worth of weapons and cash right into Ukraine. And
so essentially yesterday on social media, Donald Trump says, We don't know where Ukraine got the weapons from, and we don't know if they're using them for long range. We had nothing to do with this. So here's what's happening. We sell Tomahawk missiles to our NATO allies. What we've done is we've told our NATO allies, now anything we sell to you, you can sell to the Ukrainians, you can give to the Ukrainians. Well, our allies have given Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. And the president says you give them to Ukraine, they get to use them. That's the rule. Whatever we sell to you, you can give or sell to Ukraine, and they can use. So Tomahawk missiles are now in Ukraine's hands, and the president's like, I don't know where they got these things. I didn't approve the sale to them. I don't know how they're going to use them. Nobody's told me anything. It's high comedy, actually, because everybody knows. Like, you heard the defensiveness here with the president says, hey, we're not giving weapons to Ukraine. We're selling weapons to NATO. And whatever NATO does with them, NATO does with them. But, Biden, he just gave cash and weapons to Ukraine, and we're not doing that. We're selling them, and we're not selling them to Ukraine. We're selling them to NATO. It's priceless. But not only that, we're also applying aggressive sanctions to Russian oil companies. That is really notable because Joe Biden chose not to be this aggressive.
So there's also talk today, Scott, not the first time, sanctions on those who purchase Russian oil or perhaps other sanctions on Russia itself. Can you shed any light on that?
Larry, as you know, and the world can see, President Trump is the president of peace. He's done peace deals, trade deals, tax deals, and part of the peace deal, the real remaining final conflict in the world, this would be the 9th one that he has found a solution to, would be between Russia and Ukraine. President Putin has not come to the table in an honest and forthright manner, as we'd hoped. There were talks in Alaska. President Trump walked away when he realized that things were not moving forward. There have been behind-the-scenes talk, but I believe that the president is disappointed at the where we are in these talks. So either this evening or first thing tomorrow morning, we are going to be announcing a substantial increase in Russia's sanctions. I'm not going to give you the exact sanctions, but I can tell you that this will be one of the largest sanctions that we have done against the Russian Federation.
So these...
Now, notable, again, Biden didn't do this. Trump is coming for Russia's oil. And by making, let's go to the tariffs. What's one of the things that has happened to tariffs to avoid you having to pay so much higher prices? The companies making the goods abroad have lowered the prices so that when it gets to this country and the importer has to pay the tariff, it's still the same price as it was the week before the tariff. The company abroad is eating the profit. That's now what the Russians are going to have to do. They're going to have to cut the price of a barrel of oil in order to sell it to other countries, given the penalties we are applying. If the Russians want to keep selling, it's already so high. This penalty goes so high on other nations. They're essentially going to get taxed by the Americans. There will be repercussions for countries buying Russian oil. The Russians are going to have to make their oil so cheap, they're not going to be able to fund their war. You do understand that Joe Biden didn't do this, right? You do understand the man that all the left says was really committed to the Ukrainians, unlike Donald Trump, that Joe Biden didn't do what Donald Trump is doing. Joe Biden did not give long-range weapons to NATO or sell them in any capacity, and Joe Biden did not put tariffs and penalties on the Russian oil manufacturers. He did not sanction them in the way that Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump is doing it aggressively. For all the people who are convinced that Donald Trump is worse for Ukraine than Joe Biden, Donald Trump is being way more aggressive with the Russians than Joe Biden. He's applying more penalties than Joe Biden did. And none of you people on the left want to give Donald Trump credit for that. Isn't it remarkable? You've made all sorts of demands. Here he is fulfilling your demands, and you still don't want to give him credit. You're convinced he's still in Russia's pocket. He wants peace. He tried to get peace, and Vladimir Putin has scuttled a peace deal. Vladimir Putin has scrapped plans to go to Budapest to have talks with Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump's like, all right, NATO, do what you want to do. It's not us. It's the Europeans. We have nothing to do with it. I know nothing, and no one consulted with me. It's NATO weaponry. It's not our weaponry. It's high comedy. And by the way, he's right. We sold this stuff to NATO. We didn't give it to Ukraine. What NATO does with it, NATO does with it. We got no say in it. It's all NATO. And yet, it's Ukraine's. And they're going to use it. And we now are pretty sure the Russians don't have capacity to expand the theater of operations, even as Vladimir Putin may want. So let's let Ukraine actually bring this thing to a resolution. Putin has dragged his feet on this, hoping to capture more of Ukraine. It's not happening. And now maybe Ukraine having the firepower to combat the Russians, well, they'll use the strength of Ukraine as their bargaining tool to end this.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Eric Erickson Show.
1250 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center now sounding a travel advisory into Dunwoody. DOT says 2 right lanes blocked, 285 westbound, the outer loop, Chambly, Dunwoody Road, exit 30, already slow back into Dorville. You can take 85 south to 400 north as an alternate. Heads up into Duluth, looks like we got a stalled truck in the center lane, 85 southbound at Sugarloaf Parkway, exit number 108, and a left lane crash into cab, 20 eastbound before Panola Road. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop the cheers to fall event at Whole Foods Market with savings on roasts, pizzas, and more cozy gathering favorites through October 28th. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
More local news.
Atlanta's airport's bracing for record-breaking crowds. Apparent murder in the Grant Park area.
More traffic.
A crash in the Cobb Cloverleaf.
One crash on I-20 westbound.
You're on and off the brakes beginning at University.
More weather.
Looking at rotation that is near the city of Brooks, thunderstorm is capable of producing a quick spin-up tornado.
Atlanta's morning news.
Governor Kemp reacting to that tariff pause.
Tomorrow morning at 5.
Wake up with 95.5 WSB. How Atlanta starts its day.
You know you want a luxurious deck, but you're feeling overwhelmed with so many options. It's enough to make your head spin. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors. Maybe you know exactly what your dream deck looks like. We can build that. If not, we offer design help and expert guidance to create a beautiful, high-quality deck that you'll enjoy every day. Decks done differently, decks done right, with exceptional customer service at a reasonable price. Get your free estimate, Google Nelson Exteriors.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Ooh, it's a big deal, and it's back. D. Geller & Son Jewelers Fall Bridal Event for one weekend only. This weekend, October 24th through 26th. D. Geller is bringing you the biggest diamond engagement and wedding event of the year with exclusive savings, extensive designer lines, and an incredible event up to $3,000 off with an appointment, 36 months, 0% APR financing, and free travel bans. This weekend only, D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Greetings. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. I am delighted to have you with me. We've got so much more on tap today to talk about. Including when we come back, WIC is on the verge of running out of money because of the government shutdown and the sports betting scandal. The mafia, the Italian mob, has been involved in sports betting in this country. And more on the Cowboys, not the team, the actual Cowboys, the ranchers and the cattlemen and the president. But first, I got to tell you, my son has not responded to some of the memes I have sent him on Instagram. And yesterday, on the way home from school, I asked him about one of them. He says, I deleted Instagram. I said, why? He says, because I fear I'm wasting my time on Instagram. There are more important things to do than scrolling Instagram all. And I said, that's a very grown-up opinion. And then I said, yeah, like I read a story that when kids in schools have their phones taken away, their increase in reading books goes up. And his response was, what's a book? It's like, this only goes so far. But, I mean, good for him as a 16-year-old to realize that doom scrolling Instagram all day, probably not a healthy thing. It's what us Gen Xers and the boomers do way too much of, sharing reels and stuff. And I got to tell you, I got a dear friend of mine who I know is listening right now. And I have a inappropriate sense of humor, as those of you who went to the Not Safe for Radio show know. And he was saying, oh, yeah, you can send me anything. Nothing offends me. I sent him one that I thought was funny. He's like, I can't believe you would send that to me. I was like, well, yeah, sorry. I guess our humor profiles are not exactly aligned. And he's like, I'll pray for you. I was like, yeah, you can pray for me, but I'm laughing at that reel. All right. We'll be back with the WIC stuff. First, I got to tell you about Vision Computer. They would love to build a computer for you or upgrade your existing computer. If you call them at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com, they work with people in all 50 states. They're very, very proactive in helping you. In fact, they sat down with us when we built our computer with them, wanted to know what my son needed, what he wanted, how long he wanted to be able to use a computer. They built him one that'll last him, get him to college. And that he plays a lot of games on it. And they're great. Their tech support's incredible. They can do this for your business or you as a person. If you're in the gig economy, you need a reliable laptop, they can build you one, upgrade your existing one. And then they can be your managed IT services. $199 a year per computer. A little less if you mention my name, allegedly. You call them at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com and have them build the machine for you, but have them service your machines. They can remote in. You get a special phone number you get to call in 15 seconds or less. You get a live human being on the phone who answers your questions. They can remote into your computer if they need to. They can help you with email support, printer support, so much more. Call them at 404-COMPUTE. Tell them Eric sent you, or go to visioncomputers.com. Anyone in any business nationwide.
All the notifications you need.
This story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, president of Leaf Filter, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. We have an update on a developing story we've been following this Thursday. More disturbing information on a massive NBA betting and mafia-rigged gambling sting by the FBI. Dozens of current and former NBA players and coaches arrested. Aaron Kotursky with new developments this hour.
Terry Rozier was among players like Jontay Porter, who prosecutors said faked an injury and told sports bettors beforehand, like in a particular game when he was playing for the Charlotte Hornets back in March of 2023, that he would be out within 9 minutes, sometime in the first quarter. And the sports bettors then used that information to place $200,000 worth of bets, according to the indictment.
Now, more than 30 people in 11 states have been arrested. We have also learned today that 3 Georgians are among those arrested, including Tony Goodman of Locust Grove, the other 2 from Central Georgia. All right, your weather for today. A few clouds. It's going to be pleasant, though. Afternoon highs around 74, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. An explosive device has been removed from a postal facility on Villanova Drive in South Fulton. Police say this is not the first time that this kind of thing has happened at that facility. There was an evacuation a few weeks ago because of a suspicious package. South Fulton police say that they are investigating the source. The package has been taken away now by the bomb squad to a secure location for a controlled demolition. And this just into DeKalb County Police needing your help today, identifying the vehicle or driver involved or both in a hit and run on I-20 westbound near Wesley Chapel. It happened on October 14th. That was last Tuesday, just before 12:30 in the afternoon. A pickup truck lost its attached trailer, and then the trailer hit a stopped vehicle, causing serious injuries to 2 people. The driver of the pickup did not stop. Anybody with information being asked to call police. We do have a picture of that trailer at WSBradio.com. What kind of car do you drive? It's one of the most stolen vehicles in Georgia? Could be. According to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, the top 3 most stolen vehicles in our state are the 2017 Nissan Altima, the 2020 full-size Chevy pickup truck, and then the most stolen vehicle in Georgia is the 2006 full-size Ford pickup truck. Overall, car thefts are down across the country. It's 102.
Gumbo season is back for me and my family as the temperature gets cool and football's arrived, and I got the jumbo lump crab meat from Omaha Steaks, and I got the shrimp from Omaha Steaks to go in my gumbo, and it is fantastic. The wild Argentinian red shrimp, fantastic in the gumbo. It's that time of season. You got friends coming over to watch football. You're going to tailgating. Omaha Steaks makes it real easy. You get $35 off with the promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. See site for details. Terms and conditions apply. You go to omahasteaks.com today. Load up your cart with deliciousness. You get desserts. You get seafood. You get pork. You get chicken. You get the steaks, the burgers, the gourmet jumbo franks, the breakfast sausage, main courses, everything you need. Omaha Steaks makes it super easy. And at checkout, put in promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. You'll get an extra $35 off already incredible values at omahasteaks.com. Check them out today.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
If your basement has any issues like condensation, wet floors and walls, or musty smells, that can be a sign that your home might be due for waterproofing. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can help. Just visit aquaguard.net and set up a free inspection. Remember, AquaGuard.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Sounding a travel advisory out of Doraville into Dunwoody. Crash 285 westbound, the outer loop, Chamblee-Dunwoody Road, exit 30. 2 right lanes are blocked there. You're stacked up back to Beaufort Highway. Think about taking 85 south to Georgia 400 northbound as an alternate. Speaking of 85 south up in Duluth, we got a stalled truck in the center lane at Sugarloaf Parkway. Exit number 108 causing the slow zone, and a crash in the work zone into cab. Left lane knocked out, 20 eastbound before Panola Road, exit 71, slowing that ride from I-285. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A beautiful day today with a few clouds passing by. High 74, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 75. Staying dry on Saturday with partly cloudy skies, high 72. Rain showers return on Sunday.
WSB Storm Tracker radar is clear in Johns Creek. It's sunny and 69 degrees. Jefferson has 67 degrees under sunny skies. Here in Atlanta on Peachtree Street, 70 degrees and sunshine. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Greetings and welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America from my flagship station in Atlanta, Georgia, where there's a Public Service Commission election and you people need to go stop the communists, go support the incumbents. Rich Johnson and Tim Echols, you got to go support the incumbents of the Public Service Commission election. Any one of you in Georgia, across the state of Georgia, the commies are coming for your power grid. You got to go stop them. That's not actually an exaggeration. They are far left radicals who actually their stated plan is to drive up the cost of power to you to convince you to support solar power. So your power rates are going to go up if the commies win. So please go take a stand in this election and vote for the incumbents to stop the commie takeover. Now, we got to talk about the shutdown. I don't really want to talk about the shutdown, but we kind of have to talk about the shutdown. I am told very reliably the Democrats will decide within the end of this week, which is tomorrow, how they want to wind down their shutdown. Because there is some thinking that they may want to reopen the government very shortly before healthcare subsidies expire and rates go up to renegotiate with the Republicans. However, some of the Democrats want to keep it shut until after November 1st because the Republicans will, they think, get the blame for the healthcare subsidies going away. So leave it closed until November 1st, let the Republicans get the blame, and then reopen it. Why? Because WIC runs out. This is from Meredith Lee Hill at Politico. Missed paychecks, canceled infrastructure projects, and mass firings haven't yet convinced congressional Democrats to change their government shutdown stance. But they are now facing down another pressure point threatening a program they've long championed, benefiting millions of Americans. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which helps feed more than 40 million people, will start to run out of funds November 1st. The USDA is warning. At least 25 states plan to cut off benefits starting on that date, including California, the overwhelmingly Democratic state with 4.5 million SNAP recipients. The food aid cliff has largely flown under the radar as Democrats focus on another November 1st development, the launch of open enrollment for Affordable Care Act insurance plans in most states. They believe massive premium hikes prompted by the expiration of key federal subsidies will compel Republicans to relent and negotiate an extension at that time. So far, despite the possible food assistance fallout in just over a week, top Democrats are pushing ahead and refusing to shore up the votes to reopen the government. Asked Tuesday if the cliff would change his party's calculus, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said it would not. It should change Republicans' calculus, that they should sit it down and negotiate a way to address this crisis. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts asked if it was worth pushing the shutdown beyond November 1st, given the risk of food aid lapsing, replied, worth it to whom? To people who will lose their health care or to people who will lose their food? We're people who want Americans to have health care and food. The Republicans evidently don't care whether they have either. Here's the problem. They're going to run out the clock. This appears now to be the Democratic strategy. And I'm told it's the one that they have been weighing the most, and that is get past November 1st. That is next Saturday. Get past November 1st, and suddenly you can reopen the government. Why? You reopen the government on November 3rd. That's the Monday. And Affordable Care Act subsidies have gone away. They've expired. But you're only 3 days into WIC benefits expiring. So the poor will not go hungry, but healthcare rates will go up, and the Democrats think they can blame Republicans on that. At this point, and it's notable how Politico frames the story at the very beginning. Missed paychecks, canceled infrastructure projects, and mass firings haven't yet convinced congressional Democrats to change their government shutdown stance. It's not saying the Democrats are responsible for the shutdown, but it strongly implies the Democrats are behind the shutdown. And in fact, based on the Democrats' standard, it actually is them. I have a lot of people who follow me on social media, and I've been blocking the ones who aren't intellectually honest enough to admit the Democrats are the ones who shut down the government, because it's the same standard the Democrats have always had. You shut down the government if you don't support the clean resolution. The Democrats have supported this resolution repeatedly. It's the one Chuck Schumer first drafted. And now they're refusing to vote for it because they're trying to use it as leverage to negotiate something, and it's not going to work with the GOP. It's not going to work. The Republican position, very straightforward, is you reopen the government, then we'll talk. And that's not the Democratic position. The result is a shutdown. A shutdown with no end in sight for the public, but knowing that WIC is going to be running out here soon, that's probably the incentive that the Democrats need to reopen the government. Glenn Youngkin on Twitter just tweeted this out. The Democrats' shutdown will cause SNAP benefits to run out for over 850,000 Virginians in need starting November 1st. I refuse to let hungry Virginians be used as leverage by congressional Democrats. I'm declaring a state of emergency due to the Democrat shutdown to protect hungry Virginians in need. This is an extraordinary action and is only necessary because of the shamelessness of congressional Democrats, including every Democrat in our delegation, who refused to pass a clean continuing resolution to open the federal government. I once again call on Senator Mark Warner and Senator Tim Kaine to end this nonsense and vote for the clean CR. The Commonwealth will provide food benefits until congressional Democrats put the interests of Virginians in need ahead of their politics. I thank President Trump and his administration for their help. Now, here's the problem. I understand he's the governor of Virginia and he wants to take care of Virginians. California is going to let their food benefits run out. Why not let the food benefits run out and blame the Democrats? See, this is why Glenn Youngkin is a better man than me, and he doesn't want to play politics. He's a term-limited governor. He doesn't care about the partisan nature of it. He actually wants to help the people of Virginia, and so he's going to help the people of Virginia, even as the Democrats are going to run WIC into the ground and run out the SNAP benefits. It's going to start causing Democrats to rethink. It's going to start calling Democrats, it's going to cause them problems. My suspicion is that the Democrats will cross November 1st, as I've been told, and they will decide then to reopen the government before WIC completely runs out, but after the healthcare subsidies go away and you're re-upping for next year, and they're hoping that'll put pressure on the Republicans when people have to re-up their Obamacare updates. I'm not entirely sure. We will see. Now, there's some breaking news happening as I'm talking. I need to shift gears here real quick. The president just put this up on social media. The federal government was preparing to surge San Francisco, California on Saturday, but friends of mine who live in the area called last night to ask me not to go forward with the surge and that the mayor, Daniel Lurie, was making substantial progress. I spoke to Mayor Lurie last night, and he asked very nicely that I give him a chance to see if he can turn it around. I told him I think he's making a mistake because we can do it much faster and remove the criminals that the law does not permit him to remove. I told him it's an easier process if we do it faster, stronger, and safer, but let's see how you do. The people of San Francisco have come together on fighting crime, especially since we began to take charge of that very nasty subject. Great people like Jensen Huang, Mark Benioff, and others have called saying the future of San Francisco is great. They want to give it a shot. Therefore, we will not surge San Francisco on Saturday. Stay tuned. And by the way, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Trump had the authority to do it. So the courts have said Trump could go into San Francisco. The courts have said it. But now Trump's saying he won't. Now, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I was told that Trump doesn't listen to people and change his mind. I was told that you can't persuade the president once his mind is made up. I was told the president would not listen to Democrats. Last I checked, the mayor of San Francisco is a pretty big lib. So is Mark Benioff, who gave a lot of money to defeat Donald Trump. I was told that you couldn't stop Donald Trump from doing this. Only the courts and the protesters could stop Donald Trump. And yet, a mayor from San Francisco, who is a big progressive, an heir to the Levi Strauss fortune, no less, called Donald Trump and said, please don't bring the troops. We're making progress, and we'd like to do it ourselves. And Donald Trump says, well, we could do it faster and better. And the mayor's like, let us handle it. It'll cause a distraction. It'll bring in the rioters. The police will be tied down with that instead of fighting crime. We'd like to fight crime. We're making good progress. Please don't do it. And the president says, okay, good luck. Let us know if you need us. I thought that was the leadership Democrats said they wanted. I thought that was the leadership we were told by the press Donald Trump's not capable of giving, and that's what was needed. And here is that leadership by Donald Trump being given to a Democratic leader of a city saying, we don't need you right now. Don't come, so we're not coming. I think that's great. By the way, I think the Democrats in Washington who say Donald Trump's not going to negotiate on the shutdown should probably look at this. And look what Trump did. A Democratic mayor of a very progressive city reached out and said, hey, please don't come. We're making good progress. And Trump says, okay, I won't. And the Democrats in Washington say, we can't trust Trump to keep his word. We can't negotiate with Donald Trump. We got to have the health care benefits now. And Trump's been telling them now for almost a month, if you will reopen the government, I will negotiate with you on the health care subsidies. John Thune's even saying, we'll give you the vote. We'll give you a vote. We can't guarantee it passes, but we'll give you a vote. And the Democrats say, no, we don't trust you. You know, the Democratic leaders of San Francisco don't trust Donald Trump. But here he is saying, I won't come in. We'll see if he keeps his word. I bet he keeps his word. Democrats just want to fight. They don't actually have a path to win. They just want to fight. I was explaining to my kid an economics rule the other day. that if 5 people come into a situation and they each have a strategy and they're all good at the game, they all have a good shot of winning. But if you all come in with your own strategy and you change your strategy to be someone else in the game strategy for no reason, you've increased your chances of losing. And the reason is because you've deployed a strategy you're comfortable with, each of you in the game. And when you change your strategy because someone else, you think, well, maybe they might have a competitive advantage, I'm going to change the strategy, you're now deploying a strategy that that person is more comfortable with than you. So don't change your strategy unless you're sure you're losing, and then be deliberative about it. The Democrats, they've changed their strategy because they think they're losing. They came into this against the Republicans and Donald Trump who had a strategy. The Democratic strategy has now become, we must oppose everything Donald Trump likes, and we must embrace everything Donald Trump hates. And so they're letting Donald Trump be the master of the game. They're letting Donald Trump run circles around them because they're playing by Donald Trump's rules. If Donald Trump wants to build a ballroom, it's the worst thing ever. If Donald Trump doesn't want to do something, well, whatever it is, it's the best thing ever. If Donald Trump wants to go to San Francisco, he must be stopped. If he doesn't want to go to San Francisco, I'm sure they'll complain about him abandoning the city now. The Democrats are letting Donald Trump control their emotions, control their actions and their responsiveness. They are completely reactive to him, and that's why they can't win right now. That's why he's running circles around them, and that's why they're preparing to cave on a government shutdown.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
121 Cool-Ray Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. Travel advisory in Dunwoody. Crash in 2 right lanes. 285 westbound. The outer loop, Chambly Dunwoody Road exit 30. Delays still stretch back into Doraville. Take 85 south to 400 north as an alternate. Then further over on 285 west in Sandy Springs, we got a right lane crash at New Northside Drive exit 22. Travel advisory in DeKalb. Crash in the work zone now. 2 left lanes blocked. 20 eastbound past Wesley Chapel Road, East Covington Highway. Traffic brought to you by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool-Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Scratching, scampering, and scurry noises in your attic? You've got squirrels. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Better get Breda Pest Management to kick them out before those squirrely scoundrels start running an Airbnb in your attic. Those squirrels not leaving without a fight. They'll keep coming back, chewing new holes over and over again. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected and at no additional cost.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
This is Scott Slade. I had a chance to catch up with my friends at Myland recently, and they were telling me how busy they've been helping homeowners access the equity in their homes. Over the last few weeks, rates have dropped, and people are jumping on the opportunity to refinance and open home equity lines to do long overdue projects or consolidate high-interest debts. Even if another lender has told you they can't help, it's worth it to call my friends at Myland. They have so many different loan programs, low rates, and highly trained experts waiting to help you. It wouldn't make sense to call anyone else. I trust Myland with all my home loans, and you should too. I can't tell you how many testimonials and success stories I've heard from these guys and gals over the years. Do yourself a favor, give them a call. 770-817-2000. 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com, spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage License C148769. Myland's located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we make mattress shopping easy. We offer our lowest and best price to everyone, every day, so you can shop when you're ready. We show you exactly what's inside of our mattresses so you can see and feel the quality for yourself to ensure you're getting the best value. And we offer a no-pressure shopping experience. Our team is here to help you find the best mattress for you. It's that easy. Visit an OMF location today to see the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, president of Leaf Filter, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. All the information without the spin. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Welcome back. It is Eric Erickson here. Phone number 877-973-7425. I sent out my s'mores recipe. S'mores Rice Krispie. Gonna have to bring them to the office, I think. So you take the Cinnamon Chex cereal with Rice Krispies, and you break up Hershey bars, and then you take little marshmallows, and you take a blowtorch to them, and you toast them, and you mix them together, and then you pour the melted marshmallows over them and form them into Rice Krispie treats. But it's like s'mores Rice Krispie treats, and they're pretty dang good. And I sent out the recipe. And if you want the recipe, you text the word recipe, singular, not plural, the word recipe, to 33777. Follow the link back. You can subscribe if you want. You can get the link to the recipe for the s'mores Rice Krispie treats. I made them 4 weeks in a row on Sunday night for the guys because I wanted to get the recipe right, and the secret was melting marshmallows, not using marshmallow fluff, because marshmallows have cornstarch in them, and when the cornstarch gets to boiling stage, it will begin to help coagulate and hold everything together. And so you got to melt the marshmallows. That's the key I discovered after 4 weeks of trying. Yes, 4 weeks of these poor guys on my front porch having to eat Hershey bars and marshmallows with Rice Krispies. And I tried Cinnamon Toast Crunch as well, but it turns out to be hygroscopic. It attracts water and gets soggy, so it doesn't work. But you can text recipe to 33777, get that recipe. I'm reviving the recipe list. And if you text Eric to 33777, you'll get the links to everything, including social media, where you can see the fantastic pictures of the s'mores. Now, let me tell you about my fantastic bank, Old Glory Bank. If you go to oldglorybank.com/Eric, oldglorybank.com/ERICK, you can get a bank account for yourself or your kid or your loved one who needs one. It's an online bank, and you can even deposit cash, unlike a lot of online banks. They figured this one out. You go to oldglorybank.com/Eric, so I get the credit. I got a no-fee checking account with them and a no-fee savings account with them early on with Old Glory Bank. And I love them, oldglorybank.com/Eric. You go there, you sign up with Old Glory Bank, and y'all, they're a good bank. They're a good bank, and they're good people. They're conservatives. They were started by conservatives for conservatives. They're headquartered in Oklahoma City. They're one of the fastest growing banks in the country right now. oldglorybank.com/Eric. They really are decent, fantastic conservative people, and you can even go to your gun store and they're not going to use your debit card. They're not going to penalize you, unlike a lot of progressives at woke banks now. But if you're a veteran, a first responder, active duty military, they have great discounts for you. Active duty military, they'll waive some fees for you for the premium accounts, including the interest-bearing checking account. Find out more at oldglorybank.com/Eric. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, terms and conditions apply. When we come back, the big scandal today, the mob bosses and the basketball players getting arrested for gambling.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. New information in on that major multi-state NBA sports betting and mafia rig poker games crackdown by the FBI. Peter King has more on what was happening.
The NBA says a current player and coach have been placed on immediate leave after their gambling arrests. New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch says the Miami Heat's Terry Rozier shared information about plans to leave a game early with a supposed injury when he played for Charlotte in 2023.
Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics.
The other probe, Portland coach Chauncey Billups, is accused of participating in mafia-run poker games that attracted star-struck bettors, then fleeced them.
And we have learned that 3 Georgians among those arrested, including Tony Goodman of Locust Grove. The other 2 were from Central Georgia. Your weather for today: a few clouds but pleasant, highs around 74, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A postal facility in South Fulton evacuated today after an explosive device was found inside. This is at least the 3rd time that a device has been found at that facility on 125 Villanova Drive. The South Fulton Police Department right now investigating the source and circumstances surrounding the incident. It's almost that time of year when you decide on health plans offered by employers and whether you need to change it or not. And this comes as health insurance premiums are skyrocketing. You're being urged to take some time this year to compare prices rather than just clicking what you had last year. You have to select a plan by December 15th in order to receive benefits at the start of the new year. Let's take a look at the markets, see how your investments are working for you. The Dow currently up 110 points at 46,700. So the Dow's up slightly. NASDAQ's up more than 0.5%, and the S&P's up almost 0.5%. It's 1:32.
With our weather extremes, I wanted windows that would stand the test of time. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns, and I found them. I love my Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass Windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows. I was blown away. They're energy efficient and incredibly durable. 8 times stronger than vinyl, so they last. Experience the fiberglass difference in your home or in their new Alpharetta showroom.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
When you're leaving the house, do you plead with your garage door? Please open, please open. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Let us take that anxiety away with one quick call. Our highly trained technicians will get to the bottom of your garage door issues. It could be a simple repair, a malfunctioning opener, or maybe just needs a tune-up. But if it's time for your garage door to be replaced, we'll make that easy too with upfront pricing and free estimates. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, Seasons Garages.com.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Travel advisory continues I-20 eastbound into DeKalb County. Crash in the work zone in a few left lanes past Wesley Chapel Road. Use Covington Highway. Some better news in Dunwoody. That crash 285 westbound, the outer loop Chambly Dunwoody Road. Exit 30, that is cleared. All lanes back open there. An installed big rig on the west side, 20 eastbound, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit number 49. That is blocking a center lane. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A few clouds for this afternoon, high 74, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 75, and a mix of sun and clouds on Saturday, staying dry, high 72. Rain showers return on Sunday.
We have mostly sunny skies here in Midtown Atlanta and 71 degrees. We'll have more news at 2 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello there, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. If you listen to my program, I don't run sports betting app ads. I don't run ads for sports betting on my program. Now, you may hear them, and if so, it's a local station that has done them, but I myself have been offered obscene amounts of money. Y'all know how badly I want to fly on a private plane. And I can't bring myself to take the money from the sports betting apps. Now, I got to nuance this one because I have some friends who take real offense to this and some who are involved in professional sports betting and prognostication and stuff. I don't care if you make bets. I really, if you're going to bet, I wish it was between you and your friends and not on one of these apps because I think you're being taken advantage of. And it bothers me now when I go on ESPN or any sports coverage, and half the show is about the odds and how you should bet. People, in fact, players have actually come out and said that you're now encouraged to make parlay bets where these three things are going to happen in the game, and if they happen, you win a lot of money, and players have actually come out and said they have been harassed by fans because they cost the fans money by failing to do something or doing something that the fan bet against. And the players find it all miserable. I know kids in middle school whose parents are letting them place bets on these apps, and it is completely irresponsible for the parents. I have given my peace of mind more than once, sticking my nose in other people's business where it doesn't belong, but it's not healthy, and there are a lot of young men out there who are thinking this is all very normal, and they are ruining themselves. We're going to we have all these concerns about young men in this country right now, and no one's paying enough attention to the sports betting culture that's happening in the country, that's being fostered even in high school and middle school. And those of you who do this professionally, whatnot, spare me your lectures on how you're not supposed to do it, it's against law. It's supposed to be, and I know it's happening. We all know it's happening. And it's kind of like these demands that we not prosecute Lisa Cook or Letitia James for mortgage fraud. Well, everybody does it. I mean, if we prosecute just because everybody does it doesn't make it right. And I don't want to contribute to this culture of people thinking sports betting apps are great because, I've told you before, I have this Apple Sports app on my phone, on my iPhone. It's a wonderful app, and I can get the updates before people are getting them on, if they're watching streaming sports because of the delay. If you're trying to bet on something immediate in the sport, and I know someone's losing money because the play's already occurred and they don't know it. And I just think that there are people who are making so much money off of it now because they're making money, they think it's a good thing. They think there's nothing wrong with it. They've done it with their friends for years. They find it harmless. And there are a lot of people who are willing to turn a blind eye to harm because they're not getting harmed and they might be making money. But the overall societal effects, I think, are harmful. I don't want to be part of it. And if it means I never get the money I would like to have in my career, I'm okay with that because I'll sleep well at night. And you can say, well, I'm sleeping well making the money. That's fine. And again, I don't mind you making bets. I have friends who come over on Sunday night for bourbon and cigars. We watch football. They're making bets. I don't really care. What I care is the culture of sports betting is sinking now into a culture of young men in high school and even middle school who think that's what you're supposed to do and that you're not really enjoying the game unless you're making money off the game or betting on the game. And that behavior is being encouraged and it is poisonous. And now we know some of these games are rigged. And I see there are people out there saying, well, but you know, the sports betting apps, they're actually a good regulator to make sure this isn't happening because they want clean games. I think you're just pushing your justifications for wanting sports betting apps. I'm going to read you this from the New York Times. Indictments against current and former NBA players, and of course it's the NBA, including a well-known head coach who is a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame, were unsealed on Thursday in a pair of criminal cases involving professional athletes, including one scheme in coordination with mafia families. The charges were announced in Brooklyn, where Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, said the schemes involved tens of millions of dollars in theft, fraud, and robbery. One indictment detailed bets involving inside information that will raise questions about the integrity of NBA games and could implicate other players. The indictments come at a crucial time for the NBA during the opening week of the league season as it starts new broadcast deals worth $76 billion over 11 years. The investigation has been developed for years, federal and state officials said. It was coordinated by the FBI and the New York Police Department's Joint Organized Crime Task Force. It became public on Thursday morning when Terry Rozier, a guard for the Miami Heat, was arrested in Orlando, and Chauncey Billups, the coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and a former star for the Detroit Pistons, was arrested in Portland, Oregon. The NBA said Mr. Rozier and Mr. Billups were being placed on immediate leave. Mr. Rozier and a former NBA player and coach, Damon Jones, were involved in a sports betting scheme in which the defendants used non-public information about NBA athletes and teams to set up fraudulent bets, said Joseph Nocella Jr., the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. The defendants were accused of knowing where certain players would be sitting out or leaving games early, allowing them to set up the fraudulent bets. For example, in March 2023, Mr. Rozier was a starting guard for the Charlotte Hornets. He let other gamblers know he would leave a game early so that they could bet on the game and make hundreds of thousands of dollars that they later split with him, says Jessica Tisch, the commissioner of the New York Police Department. Mr. Billups, the Portland coach, and Mr. Jones participated in the other scheme that involved illegal poker games that were set up by organized crime families, the Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese families, who would take cuts of the profits and use force to go after the debtors. The poker game scheme began in early 2019, and rigged games were soon set up across the country, including the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. Victims were lured into games to get close to sports celebrities like Mr. Billups and Mr. Jones, only to be cheated out of their money through technology like shuffling machines that had been altered to read the cards in the deck and predict which player at the table had the best hand, said Christopher Rea, the assistant director in charge of the FBI's New York field office. The gambling operation hustled unwitting victims and created a financial pipeline for La Cosa Nostra to help fund and facilitate organized crime activities. The gambling operation used technology that included specially designed contact lenses and sunglasses to read the backs of playing cards, which ensured the victims would lose big. Victims believed they were sitting at a fair table. Instead, they were cheated out of more than $7 million. One victim lost $1.8 million in rigged poker games. The two related cases involved more than 24 defendants, including 3 who were accused of participating in both schemes. For more than a year, federal prosecutors have focused on illegal gambling operations involving professional athletes. In 2024, a Brooklyn man was charged for his role in an illegal sports betting scheme involving Jonte Porter, a forward for the Toronto Raptors. Mr. Porter, who was barred for life by the NBA that year, pleaded guilty to wire fraud. The charges against Mr. Rozier and Mr. Billups are potentially the biggest hit to the NBA's reputation since 2007, when the referee Tim Donaghy was found to have bet on games. Rozier, 31, is in his 11th season in the NBA. Billups, 49, is in his 5th season as coach for Portland. You know, let's go to college sports here. Philip and I were talking about this before the show. There are a lot of kids making a lot of money with name, image, likeness, NIL. What about the guy on the team that's not making a lot of money? And he wants to make a lot of money. He sees the other players on the team making money. He's not making money. Why doesn't he get with some of his friends and they place bets? And he on the field throws the game. How's it going to be traced? How's it going to be traced? How are we going to? They're all using the sports betting apps. This undermines the integrity of the sport, and the rise of money in sports through gambling corrupts the sport. Now, some of this was unrelated to the sport. Some of it was poker matches, not basketball games, but poker matches run by the mob. You can see real easily how the mob starts getting its fingers into this with the players and finally convinces one of the players, hey, someone's going to rat you out to the FBI if you don't throw a basketball game we've got money on. That's where this all heads. It's corrupting. It's not good for society. It's not good for young men. And why have they not arrested Otani? I'm sorry, what? The NBA, this is they've had multiple situations like this in the NBA. You got a coach and players involved. This is only the beginning. This is not the end. That's my concern with sports betting. I can't. People get so defensive of this. I don't care if you're betting with your friends. And I know there are some people who really do care. There are some people who are yelling at me. I can feel it in the force. You call yourself a Christian and you're okay with your friends drinking bourbon and gambling? Well, I'm a Presbyterian. But it's the sports betting apps and the media's interest in the sports betting apps. And, to some degree, I would be less concerned about the sports betting apps, except every major sporting broadcast now is getting so much money to promote the sports betting apps and also the odds of games. It's absurd to me. In my office, I keep on CNN, CNBC, Fox News, and ESPN. And virtually every single ESPN show has something about the odds. In fact, I was talking to a guy who's on TV at ESPN, who's a Christian and not big into gambling, and said he doesn't have to participate, but the pressure, he expects he may not get his contract renewed because he refuses to participate in all the sports betting stuff that ESPN now pushes, and it costs them money for him not to do it. I had a station that airs me, and I thank them. I will leave their name out of it, but they were really concerned that I wouldn't do sports betting apps because a lot of the hosts on their station advertise for sports betting apps. So I'm not going to do it. They wound up putting me on. I thank them for standing up and doing that, but they weren't sure they wanted me on if I wasn't going to do a sports betting app. And if I got to not be on a station because I'm not willing to do the sports betting apps, I'm not going to be on the station. It doesn't make me feel comfortable to try to convince people, and I don't bet on sports. I don't keep up with sports enough, maybe golf, but even golf, I'm not going to go bet on Scotty Scheffler or Rory to do something. I want to enjoy the sport. There are, unfortunately, now way too many people who can't enjoy the sport unless they're placing bets and making money. And if the players do something that costs them money, they hate the player. It's like that poor kid. Have you all seen that viral video of the kid who's a Jets fan? And someone comes up to him after the game, and the kid's like, I hate this team. I was born into rooting for this team. I hate them. I hate them. Another Jets fan. Could be a Mets fan too, but this one's a Jets fan. Now you add the stress. I mean, if you were a Jets fan, you know every Jets fan out there is betting against their own team right now in football season. I mean, they're actively rooting against their team, that they're making money by rooting against the team they love, which you're not surprised by. But it's just it's infectious, and it's corrupting, and it's hurting young men. It's costing them money. I think I've told y'all before. I've got a friend of mine. He's on TV, and he let his son set up a FanDuel's account and gave him money, and the son has lost a ton of money, and the son is like 15 years old. I'm like, you're ruining your kid doing this. You got to stop. It's all fun and games until you got a bunch of young men who are indebted up to their eyeballs because they've been wasting their money on sports betting, and our entire culture right now is designed around inducing them to do it, and now we know these games are being rigged, and thank goodness the FBI saw this, but this is just one example of it. How many more are out there? And now do college football, and the kids who aren't getting the NIL money, they're trying to find ways to cash in. I just think that we got to reconsider this. I just think that, okay, yeah, here it is. This is the kid who went viral. Kobe, I don't think there's bad language. I've seen this clip so many times. I don't remember the kid saying anything, but this is the clip that went viral of the kid. I feel so bad for the kid. He's a teenager.
Sit down and get your thoughts on the game.
I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm not going to ever – I'm always a Jets fan, but, like, I hate this team.
The kid, he looks so dejected and disgusted leaving the stadium, too. I hate this team. I'm always going to be a Jets fan. I hate this team. He probably hates his parents for having given birth to him up there where he's a Jets fan, too. He hates the team. I feel so bad for that kid. And he's gone viral. Now imagine adding the pressure of the sports betting to it. Y'all, we got to listen. And again, I'm sorry, my friends who are offended by me saying this, some of you who are in the industry, but it's just, if you can't see it's corrupting to so many young men right now who are losing lots of money, it's, if you want to bet, but this entire culture of the news now and the sporting news being so dedicated to giving you the odds to encourage you to play bets, and the ESPN broadcast. In fact, when the news broke this morning, somebody told me they heard it on a sports radio station, and the segment was sponsored by one of the sports betting apps. Literally, there's news about the FBI arresting people for engaged in sports betting, and that segment of the news was sponsored by one of the sports betting apps. And this doesn't end well for a lot of people.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
151 Cool Rate Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Crash cleared. All lanes are open into DeKalb 20 eastbound before Panola Road exit 71, but you're slow leaving 285. Speaking of, on 285 west, the inner loop past Flat Shoals exit 48. Police protecting a stall in the left lane, and a stalled truck still in the center lane on the west side. 20 eastbound Fulton Industrial Boulevard exit 49. Traffic brought to you by True Natural Gas. True Natural Gas offers low rates, excellent service, and a loyalty program called True Rewards. See for yourself at TrueNaturalGas.com, where they appreciate their customers. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
I've had some great Mondays. I'm having a good Monday right now. Look, it's beautiful outside.
Got that
nice loud shirt.
Eric Von Hessler has an
It's
opinion.
a citrusy, summery, I think breezy kind of shirt.
And some advice.
But just remember this.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
I never have and never will smoke a cigar.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
'Tis the season. Have you gotten your flu shot? At All Care, our experienced flu specialists are dedicated to providing comprehensive and personalized care, from vaccines to testing to treatment. And you can walk right in to any of All Care's 15 Atlanta locations and access our unique combination of primary and immediate care under a single roof. For flu season and beyond, say goodbye to waiting for the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Clinically Integrated Network.
Hi, I'm David Nicholas, financial advisor and president of Nicholas Wealth Management. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a father. The three most important things in my life are faith, family, and freedom. Unfortunately, I think we're facing threats to all three. The yahoos in Washington want to erode our wealth by inflation, regulation, and out-of-control spending. Deficits, robbed Social Security, and inflation have devalued our dollar and made raising a family nearly impossible. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. The federal government is 40% bigger today than it was before COVID. I think that means taxes are going higher. Don't let higher taxes devastate your retirement accounts. At Nicholas Wealth, we have CPAs and CFPs that can show you how to shelter your retirement accounts from higher taxes. Our Retire Ready tax analysis is a $1,000 value, but we'll provide it completely complimentary for callers who have saved more than $250,000 for retirement and give us a call in the next 10 minutes. The number to call is 404-890-5606. That's 404-890-5606, or you can go to nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation and the needs of any person. This is a paid advertisement.
Are you starting to consider a new roof, but not sure if it's needed or what it might cost?
Tim Andrews, if you're going to impersonate Scott Slade, you might want to add a little bottom.
A little bottom to it.
A little bass, yes.
I'm working on that.
Well, you don't have to impersonate me. We're both here for FGA Roofing.
I know them.
FGA Roofing offers their free drone assessment, and you'll know if it just needs a fix, a rejuvenation, or a new roof. They'll quote you a price, and if you mention Scott Slade, they'll take $750 off the quote.
What about me?
Mention Tim Andrews, they'll take $750 off the quote.
That's $1,500.
If you mention both of us. And here's the best part. That quote is good for 1 year.
With your good credit, you can take advantage of their 000 offer. That's 0 down payment, 0 payments for 18 months, and 0 interest.
They offer all types of roofs, from architectural or any of the high-end roofs like Slate.
Take the first step now and set up an appointment at FGAroofing.com. That's FGAroofing.com.
Or just Google FGA Roofing.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Cast, live stream, email, and social media links by texting Eric to 33777 now.
Hello, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Democratic mega donors have snubbed Kamala Harris headlining a DNC fundraiser. This is actually kind of funny. The Washington Free Beacon reporting this, reviewing documents from the Wall Street Journal. Major Democratic donors turned down the Democratic National Committee's request to host a fundraiser, with one sending a profanity-laced message in response. At one point earlier this year, the DNC reached out to big donors to host a San Francisco area fundraiser headlined by Kamala Harris. Most of the donors rejected the request, the Wall Street Journal reported, citing individuals familiar with the conversations. While the DNC eventually found a host, the fundraiser brought in less than the committee had hoped. Upon receiving the invitation, one donor replied with a profanity-laced rejection, the report noted. Others said they didn't want to give to the party unless it produced a plan to win. Those who declined told the National Party they had commitments and couldn't make it work. Though nobody wants to help the DNC. And by the way, the Republicans have like 5 times as much money as the Democrats right now in the bank. Now, one of the groups helping the Republicans out there to mobilize the vote for next year and mobilize the vote for public policy right now is Americans for Prosperity. They're the largest leading grassroots group in the country. They happen to be on the right, and they would love to get you involved at afpvolunteer.com. Americans for Prosperity across the country organizes an army of volunteers to keep them informed about public policy and teaches them how to advocate for that sound, common sense, conservative public policy. Whether you're just talking to your friends or you're talking to your school board, your county commission, your city government, your state government, your legislature, or your congressman, all you have to do is go to afpvolunteer.com and find out how to get engaged. They got chapters in every state. I go around the country helping them, give speeches, motivate the base. They're great people. They teach you a lot. They believe in free markets and free people, small government, school choice, deregulation, permitting reform to help small businesses. You can find out more at afpvolunteer.com. That's volunteer.com. Sign up with Americans for Prosperity today.
More local news.
The employee at a Walmart in Covington is in custody. Atlanta companies already warning of turbulence in the economy.
More traffic.
One crash on I-20 westbound.
40 minutes to head up the connector.
More weather.
We may be seeing this tornado strengthening.
Atlanta's morning news.
Tomorrow morning at 5.
Newton County authorities crediting the Georgia State Patrol.
Wake up with 95.5 WSB. How Atlanta starts its day.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Fall is a busy time and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can receive the strongest cash offer in the industry and move when you're ready. Mark Spain Real Estate has more than 13,000 five-star reviews, so you can trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home quickly and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's news and talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. A gambling scandal rocks the NBA.
My message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this. Your winning streak has ended.
U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nocella, says more than 30 people are arrested, including some current and former players and coaches. Among them, current Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier.
The fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery.
FBI Director Kash Patel says there are 2 investigations, one a sports betting scheme, the other a poker fraud scheme involving members of the Italian mafia. 3 Georgians are charged in that poker game indictment, including a man from Locust Grove. It is now 73 degrees in Atlanta. We are in extreme drought in portions of the metro.
According to the latest drought monitor, extreme drought conditions are now observed in the South Metro area, including Fayette County, South Fulton County, Eastern Coweta, and portions of Clayton and Spalding counties.
Do we have any rain chances in the near future? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. A suspicious device found at a postal facility on Villanova Drive in South Fulton is the real thing. South Fulton police say they are investigating the source. The package has been taken away by the bomb squad to a secure location for a controlled demolition. Police say this is not the first incident at this same facility. There was an evacuation a few weeks ago because of a suspicious package. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy today warning of possible flight delays and cancellations as the government shutdown continues with no end in sight. He says it's taking a toll on air traffic controllers.
I've gone to a number of different towers over the course of the last week to 10 days. They're frustrated.
He says the system depends on staffers going to work even without pay. Some air traffic controllers are considering taking a second job to pay bills. This may not come as a surprise to drivers in Metro Atlanta. Americans are spending more time than ever stuck in traffic. According to the 2025 Urban Mobility Report from the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, Americans are losing an average of 63 hours sitting in traffic. It also shows traffic patterns have changed drastically coming out of the pandemic, with heavy traffic hours spreading into the midday, midweek, and weekend. It is 2:02. This news sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter for D. Gaylor & Son. You can join D. Gaylor & Son's Fall Bridal event in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. You can make an appointment at dgaylor.com. Know this, when I bought my engagement ring, I only went to one place, D. Geller & Son. You'll get exclusive savings, extensive designer lines, and an incredible event-only diamond selection. Join me at D. Geller & Son's Fall Bridal event. You can make an appointment at dgeller.com or join us on October 24th through the 26th. Kennesaw and Sandy Springs.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us. and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
It's 2:05, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. In the 24-hour traffic center, it's Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. Seeing slow traffic southeast leg of the perimeter. Got a stall in the left lane, 285 westbound. The inner loop past Flat Shoals, exit 48. Slow in the ride back toward I-20. 285 east and northbound, still slow in DeKalb, getting up to I-20 due to an earlier crash. 20 eastbound past Wesley Chapel, that's all gone. And on the West Freeway, stalled tractor trailer still in that center lane. 20 eastbound at Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49. Delays back to Thornton Road in Lithia Springs. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A beautiful day today with a few clouds passing by. High 74, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 75. Staying dry on Saturday with partly cloudy skies, high 72. Rain showers return on Sunday.
72 in Fairburn, 74 in Tucker, 69 in Canton. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. It is Eric Erickson. If you are in Georgia, remember the communists are trying to take over your power grid. I don't actually say that lightly, and I'm not trying to be flippant. No, I'm not an economist, but I know basic economics. I've read Hayek, I've read Milton Friedman, I've taken macroeconomics, I've taken microeconomics. This is Economics 101. When your competitor raises his prices, you can raise your price too. And so long as you don't raise your price as much as your competitor has raised his price, you might be able to increase your sales and steal some of his. Economics 201 is this. When your competitors are impacted by tariffs, the costs to sell their goods goes up. So you can raise your costs as well. And so long as your costs are less than the costs of the tariffed goods, you're going to make more money and increase your sales because the tariffed party can't outcompete you. That's the reality of tariffs, and we're seeing this. American aluminum prices are going up, not just because of a fire in an aluminum plant, but even before the fire. Because of the tariff on aluminums, American aluminum manufacturers were raising their prices. Steel manufacturers raising their prices. American lumber companies are raising their prices. And it has everything to do with the fact that they are not impacted by the tariff. So they can raise their prices to maximize their profit because they're raising their prices and still keeping it under the cost of the tariff. So they're getting business. Unfortunately, our president and his economics team have decided to operate not under Economics 101, but under Politburo Central Planning Committee. This is the president's tweet from yesterday at 12:42 p.m. The cattle ranchers, who I love, don't understand that the only reason they are doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put tariffs on cattle coming into the United States, including a 50% tariff on Brazil. If it weren't for me, they would be doing just as they've done for the last 20 years. Terrible. It would be nice if they would understand that, but they also have to get their prices down because the consumer is a very big factor in my thinking also. See, beef prices have gone up, and the president's blaming the ranchers. Politburo Central Planning Committee 101 is that the Central Planning Committee of the Politburo knows better than the people operating the business what to do. The president is operating as the commissar-in-chief here, telling the cattle ranchers, bring your prices down, or I'm going to import beef from Argentina to compete against you. The ranchers and cattlemen of America are unhappy. I have a lot of them listening out in Dodge City, Kansas, and in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in Oklahoma City. My wife wants to actually go out to Oklahoma and help the Drummonds brand their cattle. My wife loves the Pioneer Woman and wants to go live on her ranch and rustle cattle and brand them. It is just, it's that she wants to, my wife literally wants to ride her motorcycle from Georgia to Pawhuska, is it Pawhuska, Oklahoma? And hang out with Ree Drummond and brand cattle with Ladd, her husband. She just thinks that would be the greatest thing ever. I don't know why. I can't get into my insurance policy won't let me. My wife, though, that's the thing she wants to do, and she just thinks it's the coolest thing. There are a lot of cattlemen out there, and the Biden administration, the regulators, the processors, the purchasers, they have screwed up the lives of cattlemen and ranchers across America. They pushed issues of herd size, and there's been a drought, and the cattlemen and ranchers of America have not been doing well. And interestingly enough, they're pretty free market because they believe in American beef. I buy American beef. I don't like imported beef. We have so many great ranchers and ranches in this country that I do business with. You know, I advertise for Omaha Steaks. I buy a lot from Snake River Farms, and they've got American beef, American Wagyu. In fact, I sent a thank you package to the finance guy at Jim Ellis, who helped me buy my son's car today. Sent him a big box of American Wagyu from Snake River Farms as a thank you gift. I follow a number of them, a number of different ranches. Porter Road in Nashville. I've gotten a lot of stuff from Porter Road. They're fantastic. Allen Brothers as well. I like American beef. I refuse. On principle, I know Japanese Wagyu is incredible. I know it's incredible, but I buy American beef. I want to buy American beef. I want to support American cattle and ranchers. I actually make sure that the beef that I'm buying is not imported because I want to support American cattlemen. They have had a tough time the last number of years with droughts, with mismanagement issues from the USDA under the Biden administration, a lot of it going to essentially the Biden administration wanting them to cull their herds for global warming's sake. Did you even know this? Because the national media didn't report it. The Biden administration was pressuring ranchers and cowboys to reduce their herd numbers in order to minimize the effect of methane on the atmosphere. And here comes Donald Trump, who has never rustled a cow in his life, who eats his steak well done with ketchup. That's not an insult, it's true. I know because I do too, and that's how we bonded when we finally made peace with each other, was laughing about everyone getting so mad about us. Now, I will eat a medium well steak or a medium steak. I'll eat it medium. When I go to a nice steakhouse, I'll eat it medium. Typically, when I'm at home, My wife is a well-done steak eater because when she was a kid, her family would eat it like rare, almost cold in the middle, and she was disgusted by it. And so she didn't realize you could even get it where it was actually cooked. And so now I cook it for her, and I cook mine, and a little ketchup, and it's wonderful. I'm totally down with it. So is Donald Trump. Like, literally, that's how he eats it, is well done with ketchup. There are not only a bunch of restaurateurs and chefs dying right now by me saying this. There are I'm wiping out the population of Oklahoma and Dodge City, Kansas, as they hear me horrified about this. I won't do it in public, I swear. You can invite me to your steak dinners in Dodge City, and I won't do that. Nonetheless, the cattlemen, the cowboys, the ranchers, they know better than the president, but the president is convinced he's done them a favor with the tariff. Interestingly enough, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association is out. Let me read you their statement. Cattlemen and women cannot stand behind President Trump while he undercuts the future of family farmers and ranchers by importing Argentinian beef. It is imperative that the president and Secretary Rollins let cattle markets work without interference. If the administration is truly an ally of America's cattle producers, we call on him to abandon this effort to manipulate markets and focus instead on completing the promised New World screwworm facility in Texas. Make additional investments that protect the domestic cattle herd from foreign animal diseases such as FMD, and address regulatory burdens such as delisting of the gray wolf and addressing the scourge of black vultures. There are real ways the president could help the ranchers in this country. He really could help the ranchers in this country by focusing on the screwworm. Do y'all know what the screwworm is? Have y'all heard about the screwworm? The screwworm is coming up through Mexico, and we've had a coordinated multinational campaign to stop the screwworm, but it has crossed Panama, and it's slowly making its way up, and we've now found it inside the United States. It is a fly that lays larvae in open wounds, including people. And the larvae are shaped like a screw, and they bury into the flesh and consume the flesh. And it's deeply painful. And when cows get it, they typically have to be culled from the herd when they get it. When people get it, they got to be hospitalized, and it is painful, painful, painful. And we're starting to find it. And the White House is committed to a massive eradication campaign, which we had to do after the Great Depression. They're committed to another one because it's been found in this country. And the Agriculture Department has not been able to get its ducks in a row to get it going. And it's costing money to Texas and Oklahoma and other states who are starting to find the screwworm, and they're having to spend state funds on what should be a federal initiative. Guys, the cattlemen and women of this country don't need tariffs. So you know what the attack is on the Cattlemen's Beef Association right now? They're all a bunch of foreigners. It's the foreigners. That's actually Brazilians and the Argentinians running that group. I actually know a number of people in the Georgia Cattlemen's Association who feel the same way, that they don't need the tariff. Most Americans buy American beef anyway. They didn't need the tariff. What they needed, though, was some federal help with herd sizing and getting rid of some regulations that are applied to ranchers and farmers. It blew my mind to learn that the Biden administration was pressuring ranchers to cull their herds, to limit sizes, to limit greenhouse gas emissions. And it's true. It actually happened. And as a result now, through some droughts, through manufacturing, processing equipment problems, and remember, if you're at a slaughterhouse, a lot of your equipment is imported, and you're now paying massive tariffs on the equipment that you got to use to slaughter the cows. All of those costs get trickled down. You know, the ranchers are the ones who make the least amount of money. The processors make a ton of money. You've got 3 or 4 major processors. So we're on in Dodge City, Kansas. And basically 75% of beef that is processed in this country comes from within 50 miles of Dodge City, Kansas. There are a handful of conglomerates that handle the slaughterhouses and then box it up and ship it off to the grocery stores. And it's the actual people who raise the cattle who make the least amount of money in it. And they're hardworking men and women who love the country and the free market, and they just want to compete because they think they have the best product. And by the way, just so you understand, American cattle actually is the best product. You can buy Wagyu beef if you want a distinctive beef, and it's very marbled. It slices like butter. But American beef is a gold standard on the planet. And the cattlemen and the ranchers know that, and they don't need the tariffs. But they do need some help. And it's Economic Central Planning 101 from socialist countries for the commissars in Washington to tell the cattlemen and the ranchers that the commissars in Washington know what's best for the cattlemen. And that's not true. The cattlemen who are there on the farms and the ranches, battling the elements, battling the droughts, battling the screwworms, dealing with their cows, keeping them fed, taking them to slaughter, they know what's best. We should trust the cowboys, not the politicians, when it comes to what's best for the beef industry in this country.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
220 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Busy day in DeKalb County. Stall still in the left lane. Should be clearing soon, though. 285 westbound, the inner loop, Flat Shoals, exit 48. And now 285 northbound, the outer loop at Glenwood Road. We're dealing with a crash in the right lane, slowing as you leave I-20. Over on the west side, stalled Big Rig. That has just cleared out of its center lane. 20 eastbound, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49. Traffic brought to you by Compassion International. Imagine a child in extreme poverty waiting over a year to be sponsored. In their wait today, become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
After suspect refuses to exit home on Summer Chase Drive.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median on the JamCam.
95.5 WSB has you
The
covered.
major culprits is squeezing household budgets for auto insurance, gasoline, and utilities.
Your 24/7 news source. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Dave Baker here for Artisan Custom Closets. Ever misplaced a box of holiday lights that you're pretty sure you used to keep in the attic until you remembered you put them in the garage, maybe underneath the junk in the corner? Wouldn't be that way if you had Artisan Custom Closets upgrade the storage space in your garage. Your decorations would be neatly packed and stacked until next year. Schedule your free design consultation today with a certified master artisan designer at artisancustomclosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury over the holidays. artisancustomclosets.com.
That was thousands of miles being added to your private radio network. With Southern Link, connect your private LMR radio system to Critical Link, our mission-critical LTE network, so you can communicate more easily with more people when the situation demands. Call 1-800-818-LINC or visit southernlink.com to learn more about our interworking solutions, mission-critical push-to-talk, and LTE voice and data services. Southern Link, pushing the limits of what's possible.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it, You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
Greetings, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. Let's go to the phone. Spencer, you're going to be up next. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, Eric. Nice to talk to you again. How you doing?
Great. What's going on?
Well, so I want to talk about this ICE tracker thing that's been mentioned recently. I think this is just one more example, unfortunately, of the permission structure for violence and how Democrats are just not only giving the okay, but paving the roadway for people to get hurt or killed. And so my question to you is, if this thing is used to hurt or, God forbid, kill an actual ICE agent, can Democrats, or the ones that are behind this, that are putting their name to it, be charged as an accessory to that crime? I haven't really heard anybody talking about that.
Yeah, look, if it is, if you use it and you use it to target ICE agents, I think there could be some real liability issue there. And for those of you who don't know what's going on here now, Democrats are launching an online tracker of ICE activity, so people can go report where it is, where ICE agents are, particularly in California, so that people can target the ICE agents. And I think there is a liability issue there. Now, I got to tell you, my preference, Spencer, is that you overwhelm it with false reports. Overwhelm it with false reports. I honestly think that one way conservatives can step up and protect ICE agents is if they get this ICE tracker up and going, you just flood the zone and it makes it harder for people to show up and target the ICE agents. If they're everywhere, they're nowhere. But they're clearly hoping to direct violence at ICE agents. I don't think there's any doubt. And the rhetoric of the Democrats is becoming more and more shrill as they attempt to target ICE agents. I think violence is coming to ICE. We've already had attacks on ICE facilities. I think the Democrats are pushing us into dangerous territory here as they lose their mind over this, as they are convinced that Trump is Hitler and ICE agents are his brown shirts. And anything you and I can do to protect ICE agents, I think we should, including if that means overwhelming the trackers so they're showing up in places where there are no ICE agents. Now, let me tell you about Eden Pure, the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. You can get 3 of them. You can save $200. You can get them for less than $200. What you do is you go to EdenPureDeals.com. You put on the discount code Put in the discount code ERIC3, ERICK3, at EdenPureDeals.com. What is it? It is an air purifier. It traps dust, traps pollen, it traps pet dander. It kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses that flow through the machine. It generates plasma, which wipes out 99.9% of bacteria and viruses, and then it generates ozone, and the ozone wipes out odors. And that's how I use it. I don't actually use it as an air purifier. I use it when there's a stinky odor in my house. I pull it out, I fire it up, walk away. A few minutes later, come back, and the odor is gone. The ozone can go where the odors are and wipe them out. I've used it in rental cars that people have smoked in. I've used it on my back porch when it's gotten musty or smoky smelling. You can plug it up with a USB cord. You can plug it up into the wall. You get 3 of them for less than $200. You save $200. Get them for upstairs, downstairs, your basement, your travel bag, your RV, wherever you need them. They're small. You can hold them in your hands. EdenPureDeals.com is the website. EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code is ERIC3, ERICK3 at EdenPureDeals.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. A real explosive device is removed from a postal facility on Villanova Drive in South Fulton. Police say this is not the first incident at this same facility. There was an evacuation a few weeks ago because of a suspicious package. South Fulton police say they are investigating the source. The package has been taken away by the bomb squad to a secure location for a controlled demolition. Current and former NBA players and coaches are facing charges in connection with federal investigations into gambling.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case.
FBI Director Kash Patel says Miami Heat player Terry Rozier and former coach and player Damon Jones are accused of using inside information to make wagers on games, while Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups is arrested in connection with a poker scheme involving the Italian-American Mafia. 3 Georgians are charged in that part of the investigation, including Tony Goodman of Locust Grove. A 16-year-old is arrested in a shooting incident that led to a soft lockdown during a homecoming event at Booker T. Washington High School in Atlanta. It happened last night when a suspect shot at police officers at a gas station on Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard. Atlanta police say the suspect was located in the woods near an unoccupied home on Newcastle Street. It is now 2:31. This news is sponsored by FGA Roofing. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. Our fall bridal event is back. Whether you're shopping for an engagement, wedding, or celebrating an anniversary or milestone, D. Geller & Son's fall bridal event is the only place you'll have this many choices and get this much value. Up to $3,000 off when you make an appointment, or 36 months 0% APR financing. This weekend at D. Geller & Son's fall bridal event, Friday through Sunday in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. Make an appointment at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
This is Scott Slade. I had a chance to catch up with my friends at Myland recently, and they were telling me how busy they've been helping homeowners access the equity in their homes. Over the last few weeks, rates have dropped, and people are jumping on the opportunity to refinance and open home equity lines to do long overdue projects or consolidate high-interest debts. Even if another lender has told you they can't help, it's worth it to call my friends at Myland. They have so many different loan programs, low rates, and highly trained experts waiting to help you. It wouldn't make sense to call anyone else. I trust Myland with all my home loans, and you should too. I can't tell you how many testimonials and success stories I've heard from these guys and gals over the years. Do yourself a favor, give them a call. 770-817-2000. 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com, spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage License C148769. Myland's located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
It is 2:34 and time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. In the 24-hour traffic center, it's Alex Williams.
Better news over in DeKalb County, Bill. The stall 285 west, the inner loop Flat Shoals, exit 48, that has cleared, as well as the crash on 285 northbound, the outer loop at Glenwood Road, exit 44. So all those delays should start to improve. Afternoon volume already in full force into Midtown and downtown. You stack up southbound from the 85 400 merge passing Georgia Tech. 75-85 northbound delays from University Avenue passing Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A few clouds for this afternoon, high 74, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 75, and a mix of sun and clouds on Saturday, staying dry, high 72. Rain showers return on Sunday.
It is beautiful out this afternoon. Lots of sunshine, 72 degrees in Douglasville, 71 in Waleska, and 74 in Hampton. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Truth over tribe. Conviction over party. Eric Erickson, conservative but not captive.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Oh my gosh. Sorry, a former governor listening out in Texas, I used the line that the president's ballroom is going to look like a French whorehouse, and he just texted me and says, for the record, I don't know what a French whorehouse looks like on the inside. Yes, Governor, that is fair. That's fair. So randomly, I was actually on Monday and Tuesday, I was supposed to be out playing golf, and I couldn't because of my wife. But I got a couple of emails from listeners asking about this golf thing at Lookout Mountain I was supposed to do. So I subscribe. The only magazine I read cover to cover multiple times is called The Golfer's Journal. I discovered it about 2 years ago. I'd never heard of it, and now I realize that I have several friends who have been longtime subscribers of it, and it's wonderful. It is a wonderful magazine. The photography is gorgeous. The stories are all captivating. I'm terrible at golf. I'm getting better. I'm getting lessons. Joined the in-town golf club in Atlanta. I've been taking lessons with my buddy Kyle Morris up in Cartersville, Georgia. But when you subscribe to the Golfer's Journal, you become a member of something called the Broken Tee Society, which is their group of subscribers, and they get access to very exclusive golf courses, and you can win lotteries to go play them. And I'd won the lottery to go to Lookout Mountain. Of course, I've always wanted to play, had the opportunity, and then couldn't because my wife was in the hospital. I don't hold that against my wife, by the way. That's why I couldn't go. But some friends of mine, I got them in, and they were able to go, and they had a great time, stayed at the Airbnb that I paid for. They had a great time. But it's a very neat group of people. It's not all a bunch of super – I was very intimidated at first. It was all going to be a bunch of people with, like, scratch golfers. And, I mean, my handicap's like a 20. I'm a bad golfer. But it's great people. In fact, I'm wearing a Broken Tee Society pullover today. They have – it's just cool. If you're interested at all, if you text ENGAGE – to 33777. I'll send you my referral code. Now, full disclosure, if you use my referral code and you get a subscription for yourself or a friend, they're going to send me golf balls with the Broken Tee Society logo on it. So we win-win, but it's a great group of people. It really is. I hit that age, y'all, where I'm like, I got to get interested in something. I need a hobby. And I just thought, you know what? Being outside, hitting golf balls, it's maddening. But then you hit that perfect shot and you're like, I got to do this again. And then it becomes maddening again. And you hit a perfect shot, and you're like, I got to keep trying. And so slowly but surely I'm getting better. I don't feel comfortable, though, playing in charitable events. I've been asked now to play in several charitable events. And I'm like, no, I am a terrible golfer, and I got to work on my language on the golf course because I'm a terrible golfer. I'm not comfortable, but I'm working on it. I'm taking some lessons at InTown and with Kyle, and we'll see at some point I'll do it. Now, we got to move on to other stuff, but just I got several people who asked me about it, and yeah, ENGAGE, text that word to 33777, and I'll send you my referral code back for Golfers Journal if you want to subscribe. And if you got a family member who loves golf, it is a phenomenal gift. I've gifted it to probably close to a dozen different people, and every single one of them has loved it. It's an incredible magazine and a group of people. Now, we got to move on. We actually do, and I want to go back to the New York City situation. Eric Adams is going to endorse Andrew Cuomo for mayor of New York City. And I just keep telling myself I don't care about this story, but I keep coming back to it because so many of you care about the story, and so many people think New York is like the world's capital. Maybe because the UN is there, but not really. I actually like Chicago more than New York. No offense to those of you from New York. I like Chicago better than New York. I like Chicago because, one, I think Chicago and the architecture in Chicago is gorgeous. I love the steakhouses in Chicago, and I love the Cubs. And I can go to Wrigley Field, and Wrigley Field is my favorite ballpark in America. I love Chicago. And, you can walk around parts of Chicago. You're not going to get shot. The Miracle Mile area, they police that area for the tourists mostly. It has gotten bad under the present mayor and Beetlejuice, the last mayor. It wasn't great, but it's gotten under control there. I like Chicago. I really do like Chicago. It is a beautiful city. New York is fine, and the Central Park area is great, and one of my favorite bookstores is in New York. The restaurant scene in New York is world famous and all that, but my preference is Chicago. That being said, Chicago has a socialist mayor whose popularity among Democrats right now is between 15 and 20%. And in New York, the great savior of the Democratic Party is Zohran Mamdani, and they had a debate last night. I want to play you this clip. This is pretty striking. Oh, hang on a second. I muted myself. There we go.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani. We need to build more housing all across New York City. Today, New York City builds about 4 houses for 1,000 people. Jersey City's at 7. Tokyo is at about 10. We need to do this by streamlining the processes of private sector construction across the city, by ensuring we're building more around hubs of mass transit. And we also need to ensure that the public sector is building truly affordable housing. And what I mean by truly affordable is housing that is built with the median household income in mind, which is $70,000 for a family of 4. And that's why my administration will do exactly that, scaling up programs we already had in HPD, like senior affordable rental apartments, SARA, like Ella, extremely low-level affordability. These are the kinds of programs that will deliver a city that New Yorkers can actually afford. There was reference to the 3 housing-related to the question. No, I think on this answer to the question. No, I think on the stage you can see 2 people appealing for the Republican Party's votes. And myself.
Answer the question. Answer the question for once.
My question to you was, do you support the 3 ballot amendment questions? I have not yet taken a position on those ballot amendment questions.
Oh, what a shot.
Now, for those of us in the rest of the world, we don't particularly care. In New York, however, they're about building affordable housing and the related construction needs and the like in New York City. And he's refused to stake out a position because, well, they've become controversial among the Democrats, and he wants to build his coalition. Eric Adams, of course, is trying to do what he can to support Andrew Cuomo, and they're bringing all sorts of pressure to bear on Curtis Sliwa to get him out of the race. Sliwa, in fact, was a radio show host in New York City as well on WABC, and he has quit and said he's not going back because the owner of the station has come out and urged him to get out of the race for Andrew Cuomo. I mentioned this yesterday, but I got to go back to this because it bugs me, and it bugs me as someone who ran campaigns. The strategy that Andrew Cuomo is deploying in New York is to force everybody else out of the race, so it's just him versus Mamdani. And there's actually no guarantee in the polling that he'll still win, because actually the polling suggests that Mamdani is still going to win. But no one should have to get out of the race, because what Andrew Cuomo is thinking, and it's the arrogance of Andrew Cuomo and the billionaire backers of Andrew Cuomo that you are obligated to vote for Andrew Cuomo to stop Mamdani. You're not. Politicians need to earn your vote. Andrew Cuomo should make appeals to Republican voters if he wants their votes, instead of just forcing the Republican nominee out of the race or bullying him out of the race. Andrew Cuomo ran a terrible primary campaign against Mamdani and is arrogant enough to think that people will forgive him after he killed their grandmothers and sexually harassed their daughters, that they will vote for him as the alternative. I don't know that I want Mamdani to win, but I actually kind of want Andrew Cuomo to lose. I think the end of the Cuomo legacy in New York needs to come to an end. That he feels like, having gone through that scandal, having quit his office to avoid impeachment, having killed people's grandmothers and refused to apologize for it, whether it's Mamdani or not, I mean, Andrew Cuomo needs to be beaten. And the arrogance to think that Curtis Sliwa needs to get out of this race instead of Andrew Cuomo just appealing to his voters and earning their votes. Andrew Cuomo doesn't want to earn anyone's vote. He thinks you owe him your vote. You don't owe Andrew Cuomo jack. He killed your grandparents in New York. You don't owe him anything. And the arrogance of that man to think that somehow or another his opponent should get out of the race and endorse him to build a coalition to stop the other guy, as opposed to him actually doing the work to make the case that the opponent's voters should vote for him. This is the reason you're getting Mamdani, New York, because of Andrew Cuomo. You're getting Mamdani because of Andrew Cuomo's failures and arrogance and hubris and his refusal to recognize he has to earn your vote. You do not owe him a vote by virtue of his last name. I think Mamdani's going to win. I think Andrew Cuomo should lose. I think Andrew Cuomo deserves to lose. And I think the billionaires of New York City should have pushed Andrew Cuomo not to get into the race. But the billionaires of New York City were backing Andrew Cuomo. They didn't have their grandmothers get killed by his policies. It was the middle class. It was the working class. It was their grandparents. It was their grandparents that they couldn't go hold and hug in hospitals during COVID. The billionaires all moved to Florida, where Ron DeSantis took care of them and their families and made sure COVID wasn't the disaster that it was in New York. The billionaires were able to get on their private planes and go somewhere else. It's the middle class who couldn't. It's the middle class who couldn't hug their grandparents goodbye when they died. And that was because of Andrew Cuomo. And for the billionaires to now tell the people whose grandmothers died because of Andrew Cuomo's incompetence that they should suck it up and vote for him to stop the communists, what do you think is going to happen? How out to lunch are you people? Apparently very far out to lunch. So you can pack up and leave New York City. The communists are going to take it over. And the reason the communists are going to take it over has a lot to do with the policies of Andrew Cuomo. And people venting and their rage. But you know what? It might come back. Look at San Francisco. San Francisco actually is rebounding. Crime actually is going down in San Francisco, and not just because they're not reporting it. It actually is going down. The city still has a massive amount of problems. It has a massive recovery ahead of it. But it's turning itself around after years of neglect and decay and opulence of the wealthy. New York might collapse and rebound too. What I do know, though, is that if Mamdani gets elected, New York is the heart of the American media enterprise, the American journalistic enterprise. And the reporters and the journalists of America will finally get the government they have wanted with Mamdani. And they will get it, and they will see what it's like. Many of them will become communist apologists. They will become like Walter Duranty for Zoran Mamdani. They will excuse everything he does, and they will blame someone else, but they will feel the effects of his policies, and they will be ravaged by his policies, and they will deserve it. I feel bad for the people who opposed Mamdani. But you know what? Andrew Cuomo is not entitled to those people's votes. He's owed nothing by them. And when Mamdani, not if, but at this point when he's elected, well, may God have mercy on the soul of New York City and its people, but also judgment's coming, and the communist, whether he believes it or not, is the one who will carry out the judgment and the punishment, because New York's going to get his policies good and hard.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
249 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. New slow zone around the airport. Looks like we got a crash. 285 at northbound, the inner loop just north of Washington Road. Exit 1 blocking the lane, slowing the ride, leaving I-85. Emergency road repairs continue in Morrow. 75 northbound before Highway 54, Jonesboro Road, exit 233. That is in 2 right lanes. And we're also seeing brake lights into downtown. 75-85 northbound, packed in Langford Parkway up past Freedom Parkway. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/stream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Where you going is a given. How you're getting there?
Well, that's the question.
We will start to see some delays if they shut that ramp down on 285 East.
Before you hit the navigation
You're
app.
going to be slowing right around Hudson Bridge Road.
Listen to the people you can trust.
And really slow out of Ackworth into Emerson.
Updated traffic as often as you need it every time you listen.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
More experience, more reliable, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
Do you have any idea how often I have used Omaha Steaks products on my front porch for my friends and family? You know, I have guys over on Sunday nights. We watch football, drink some bourbon, have cigars, and I cook. And very often it's a steak platter, and I get it from Omaha Steaks. I make some bread, usually focaccia, and then I'll get the New York strips from Omaha Steaks, maybe some sausages as well, and throw them on the grill and just mix it with the bread. And it's easy to do, and Omaha Steaks makes it so easy. And you can do it too. And right now, get $35 off at Omaha Steaks with promo code ERIC at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. You go to omahasteaks.com. You know, and they're the official sponsor of tailgating right now. It's the perfect time of year to watch football and grill out from Omaha Steaks. I do it. You can too. You go to omahasteaks.com right now. Get $35 off with promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. But it's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
So one of the things you need to know this afternoon is that Vladimir Putin now says that the U.S. sanctions against Russia's oil companies are, quote-unquote, an unfriendly act. and said there will be an overwhelming response by the Russians to it. I'm glad the U.S. is doing this, but this gets back to the president's larger point with the Europeans for a while. The Europeans have been spending more on Russian oil and natural gas than they have been sending to Ukraine. They've given Russia more money than Ukraine, and the Russians have been using that money on the war. And the United States, by putting these sanctions on Russia, is actually costing the Europeans money. And the Europeans will have to decide how much they want Russian oil and natural gas. You know, we can get them American natural gas. We don't have a pipeline across the Atlantic, but we have ships that you can load up with the gas. And we have enough ships that we can do almost like a Berlin airlift of natural gas to Europe. And the Ukrainians also have natural gas that they themselves can sell to the Europeans. But the Europeans have been addicted to Russian oil and natural gas in large part because of the policies imposed by left-wing activist groups, many of whom are funded by the Russians. They got Europe addicted to Russian natural gas. They could become addicted to American natural gas very easily, and the President of the United States would love for that to happen, and he has resisted imposing these sanctions. But now that the sanctions are imposed, I say it's time for us to flood the Europeans with our natural gas. Every American got to eat a can of beans and head to Europe, or just get it out of the ground and send it. Look, we got to do something. Putin says he's going to escalate now. Let's see how he escalates. And there are a lot of people say, what if he invades another country? Well, we're finding out he can't exactly win. His troops are exhausted. He's running out of money. His entire economy is now arranged to perpetuate this war. It's time to bring it to an end. And again, Donald Trump thought he could sit down with Putin, talk sense to him, and get a deal, but it's pretty clear Putin wants no deal. Putin wants war. So if it's war he wants, war he'll get, sanctions he'll get, and let's see if President Trump, rethinking this, can do something. Joe Biden was kind of toothless, and no one took him seriously. That's just the truth, and I know Democrats don't like to hear it, but everyone knew on the world stage that Joe Biden was kind of out of his mind and too tired and too old and possibly had dementia. We saw him wandering off with the G8 leaders. And everybody in the media did damage controls. That's not really what you saw. It turns out it actually was what we saw. Remember when he wandered off and Macron and what's her name from Italy had to go get him and turn him around? It turns out he really did wander off, according to them. Even Macron is now willing to admit, yeah, he was off. Well, Trump is very much on and very much wants to bring peace and end this war. And if it takes more war to get to an end of the war, he's willing to go that way. I appreciate the president rethinking this. His foreign policy has been quite grown up and better than anything we've gotten from Obama or Biden. Now, before I get out of here, let me tell you about Hillsdale College, because they would love to offer you one of their classes for free. If you go to ericforhillsdale.com today, they have some recommended courses: Understanding Capitalism, The Federalist Papers, The Introduction to Aristotle's Ethics, How to Lead a Good Life. Let me just focus on that one real quick, because it's 30-minute video lectures. There are 10 of them. And these lectures are with Hillsdale's great faculty. So you get 10 30-minute lectures from Hillsdale College that winds out being about 6.5 hours. You do it at your own pace over time. You get a certificate of completion. You don't pay a penny. And you learn about ethics and you learn about Aristotle, and there's so much more that you can choose from with Hillsdale College. They have courses that run the gamut. If you click on, you can see a catalog tab. You get history, philosophy, religion, literature, politics, economics, fine arts, mathematics, natural sciences. You go to ericforhillsdale.com, ericforhillsdale.com. You sign up today. You don't pay a penny. You learn to take the ancient Christianity class. It's 11 lessons. And you do it at your own pace. Take American Citizenship with Victor Davis Hanson. ericforhillsdale.com.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Hessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
Something I was wrong about recently. In answer to a question from someone, I said, oh, you're really past too late to try to book Thanksgiving travel. But there's brand new data from Google Flights that tracks flights and fares every single day all over the world that says this year, people who wait to book are probably going to do better than people who booked earlier when you normally should have. So according to Google's data, right around the 22nd of October, right a couple days right around that's going to be the cheapest time for you to book travel for Thanksgiving. For Christmas, right around Halloween is going to be the best moment. And it's particularly with the travel around a holiday, the more you can flex the day you go and the day you return, the more money you're going to save. I'm Clark Howard.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 3 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio. News is sponsored by North Georgia Replacement Windows. Our top story, NBA gambling scandal. Some prominent names among 30 arrested in 2 separate gambling probes.
I'm Peter King. One investigation involves rigged bets based on inside information about NBA injuries.
Defendants used this non-public